Hello everybody, welcome to today's lovely stream. If you're new here, my name is Tef. I'm a planner lover, sticker designer, and crazy cat lady, aka cat mama to Coco and Opal. Coco, who is a tabby, is right here, but she's camera shy, so she doesn't want to join me currently. And then Opal's a black cat. You'll probably see them running around at some point, or we'll see some tails going, which is always fun. And then I currently have two foster kittens who will not be making a guest appearance today. But I do have a little bit of an update on what's going on with them. If you are here live, please sound off in the chat so I can give you a huge thank you. And if you're here watching the replay and don't mind leaving a comment to let me know you're here, I would love to hear that too. I'd love to be able to personally thank you for coming and hanging out and supporting the channel. Ooh, she kind of came into my arms. Anyway, so this is Coco. And I'm sure her tail will be making a couple more guest appearances today. As you can tell from the title, today we are going to be continuing working on my compact vertical sticker kit. As I mentioned, I'm a planner sticker designer and I have a shop on Etsy. I keep meaning to work on this in between streams, but honestly, because I have a lot of Pride stickers in my shop, Pride Month has been crazy and I just haven't had a lot of time. So yeah, we're going to be working on it on stream, and my goal by the end of stream today is to have a kit that I can print out that's ready for testing, aka like has all the stickers in it. They might not be completely laid out on the page the way I want everything to be ultimately, but that's okay. That is the goal for today's stream. It looks like Leah is here live, so thank you for being here, Leah. I appreciate you. And again, thank you to everybody who is watching the replay. And I mean, I was going to thank anybody who does end up coming here during the rest of the stream, but if you come late, I'm guessing you probably won't come back to watch the replay to hear my thank you. So I don't know, I'm putting a thank you into the universe or something. I mentioned in the title though that I have an exciting announcement, and I do want to get that out of the way. Just, you know, for anybody who was here for the who was coming specifically for that exciting announcement, just because I know that, I mean, my streams do tend to be long and rambly, and that's part of my charm, but I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. So, especially because sticker designing, I know, is a little more niche than some of the other general planner topics I talk about. So, the exciting announcement that I have currently is that I just found out about 30 minutes before going live today that I will be getting the Erin Condren back to school collection, or at least some items from it, for PR. I'm very, very excited about this. So that means that I am going to be able to show you exciting things in the Erin Condren back to school collection before they are officially released, and I will be able to give you my 2 cents. As you may be able to tell from the fact that I'm getting Erin Condren PR, I am an Erin Condren affiliate. Full disclosure about that. But yeah, I'm really excited. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what date the collection goes on sale yet, because I don't know if that's specifically been announced, but I believe I can tell you that the embargo itself is lifted on July 1st, which is a Friday. I don't typically stream on Fridays, but I'm going to see if I can squeeze it into my schedule, because I would like to be able to go over everything with you guys as soon as I possibly can. I don't actually have anything yet, so there's nothing that I'm like keeping from you apart from the launch date, which I do have, because again, I don't know if it's been officially announced yet. And anyway, so yeah, keep an eye out. As soon as I have that scheduled on my end, obviously, I will go ahead and schedule a stream here on YouTube, or maybe I'll just schedule it. Well, yeah, I was going to say, like, I'll schedule it before I do the thumbnail, but I can schedule it without the thumbnail, duh. So yeah, anyway, keep a lookout for that on, I'm guessing, either July 1st or 2nd. I have not nailed that down yet, but it probably will be around the same time of the day. That is approximately 4 p.m. Pacific, because that is the lovely time zone that I'm in. I also just realized I should probably warn you that there is some noise going on outside my window, and it is such a beautiful day that I decided that I'm just going to keep the window open. If it gets really annoying, I can close it, but so far it hasn't been too loud for me, and I know that my mic picks up even less, so hopefully it's not too distracting for you guys, but please let me know if it is. and I can go ahead and turn that down. I just have a mangled spring here. Opal has not become annoying yet, but okay, she didn't run after it. She was hanging out on my desk, and so I was like, maybe I can preempt it. Oh, Coco just went running after it. She's usually not the first one to run after springs. Oh well. So, okay, before I get into designing, one more cat announcement. I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update on the kittens. For anybody who may not know, I foster kittens. It's not a continual thing, but I do have 2 current foster kittens right now. I have a little black one and a little gray one, and I've been saying for the past week or 2 that they're going to go back soon. So they're going back next week on Tuesday. So I am not sure if I'm going to be able to bring them to another stream. Maybe I can manage something on Monday. I haven't really decided yet exactly what I'm doing Monday on stream, so I don't know if that will fit in. Basically what it came down to is the shelter that I foster for, which is the Oregon Humane Society, is very, very busy. So not only do they not have enough space to physically take them back until Friday or Saturday, but they can't get into surgery until next week. For anybody who doesn't know, typically, at least in the U.S., cats have to be spayed or neutered before they'll be adopted out by a rescue or a humane society. So they have to go through that before they can go up for adoption. And I figured it's not that much more difficult for me. I mean, like, it's not too hard to take care of kittens at this point. There are 2 of them, so if I don't have time one day, they can play with each other, even though I do try to give them at least a half an hour to an hour of, like, my time every day, apart from, like, you know, 5 or 10 minutes when I'm feeding them and just giving them affection. So anyway, I figured I'd just keep them for a few extra days. So I'm bringing them back on Tuesday afternoon. I was also thinking this would be completely like out of left field. Well, maybe not completely out of left field for my channel because I do talk about cats a lot. But if anybody is at all interested in like a vlog about like what my fostering setup is like and maybe like returning the kittens, I don't know. It was just kind of like one of those things in my brain that I'm like, that would be easy enough to film on my phone. And then, you know, I'd have extra content that I could put up on a Saturday that I don't end up streaming or something, since I am backing back on my Saturday streams and just streaming Mondays and Thursdays, or at least guaranteeing that I'm streaming Mondays and Thursdays. There will be other streams sprinkled in there just because I want to have fun. So yeah, if you are watching the replay, please let me know in the comments if that's something you're all interested in. If you're not, again, not planner related whatsoever, but I know you guys love the kittens. They're very cute. They're ginormous. But they're basically, I mean, they're mini cats now. When I got them, they were very much kittens. They had like the round baby faces and they waddled around a little bit, and now they're mini cats. So it's been really great to see them grow. But it's a very different experience like watching a mini cat play than like a little baby kitten play. So anyway, that is the update on the foster kittens. And I will say once again, as always, if you are interested in fostering animals, whether it be cats, dogs, rabbits, whatever, reach out to your local rescue or humane society and ask them when you're inquiring about it if they do provide supplies or if that's something you'd be expected to supply, because if the Humane Society has enough resources, they can give you all the supplies. So for me, I had to pay for a background check, which I think was 20 bucks. And then other than that, the only thing I have to buy is gas to get to and from to pick up kittens and supplies. Or, I mean, theoretically, I could foster puppies, but since I have cats, I foster kittens, and they're easier than puppies. But yeah, look into that. This is kitten season, and as I said, my shelter, Oregon Humane Society, is very overrun. They need a lot of foster parents to help out right now, and it's a great way to have temporary kittens if that's something you're interested in, or a temporary bunny. My sister had a temporary guinea pig that gave birth once, so it's a lot of fun. And I just want to say please do that, because yay! Okay, so I think that is all the completely out of left field stuff that I want to talk about today. Of course, the running joke is becoming that my streams are one long tangent, so I'm sure we will tangent off on other stuff. And then, of course, if someone gets here late and they ask about it, obviously we'll go over it again. But if you are watching the replay, thank you for sitting through my ramble. I hope it wasn't that annoying or distracting. Oh, and Leah, thank you for congratulating. Well, I guess you didn't say congratulations, but you said it's awesome that I'm getting the back to school stuff. I am super, super excited to show you. I have the little card right here that went out in the Erin Condren LifePlanner box. And honestly, I don't know what I'm getting. So it also looks like, I don't think this is sharing anything. I think there's other stuff coming out that's not on this card that we haven't seen yet. They had a list in the email saying I was accepted into the collaboration. I'd be getting PR stuff with a list of what was coming out in prices, but I didn't actually look at it. I just saw that there was a list and it looks longer than that. So I will give you more information once I actually have that. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So I know I mentioned earlier that I didn't do anything. I actually did a couple things, but it was like really simple stuff. So I printed out what we did last time and tested it in my planner. And I'm glad I did. I know that we were kind of talking about that. So basically I have to redo a couple of the sizes here. The top banner that we made and the one line stickers, which I was initially very cautious and wary of, but ended up actually working out. I wasn't sure if the borders around them would be too small to cut correctly. Don't know if you can see that because it's like really small and then on a small screen here. Sorry, let me blow it back up. Mouse, where are you? Okay, so there, focus. Okay, I mean, it's not super close up, but hopefully you can see that. I was worried that they wouldn't cut cleanly enough because it was such a small border, but it actually looks great. So nothing to worry about there. Makes me feel a lot better about that. And then the top banner was just a little bit too small to line up correctly with the date covers. So the goal is, first off, I want to get those two sizes corrected. So, I should say two sizes. So these, I have to make them ever so slightly taller. They look great when you just put one sticker there, but when you put two next to each other, they start getting a little bit off-centered in the lines, and that's the kind of thing that's going to bug me. But we're talking like, I don't know, a millimeter, probably a fraction of a millimeter bigger at this point. So I'm going to do that, and then I think what we need to do is make a list of all the stickers that absolutely have to be in this kit and kind of start checking that off, see if we're forgetting anything, and then start laying it out. And probably what I'll do is I will either design this as a mermaid kit, since that's kind of what I'm using as my base template, or the other thing I was thinking of is I could just make this kit with like the Erin Condren colors and kind of use it as like a base kit. I don't know. Basically, I'm going to choose a theme for this first kit in some way, shape, or form, and anybody who's here live can help me. So that's the plan of exactly what we're doing today. Sarah, hello. I'm glad you were able to make it. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Okay, so on my end, I just need to grab a unit converter because this software, I can change it to measuring in inches and millimeters, or not, yeah, of centimeters and millimeters. I can change it to metric, but then I'd have to change it back because all of my other measurements are in standard, or not standard, imperial. So for me, it's just easier to do a conversion. So I measured this right before the stream. I'm doing the top banner. And it was, what was it? And I would have already measured this, so it's kind of funny that it is actually off now that I'm thinking about it, but that's okay. Oh, let me do the other side. Roll a die, that's what you end up deciding to do when you can't decide to do. But then, Leah, I'd have to decide what kind of die to roll because, see, I play D&D, so we can go all the way from a D4, which is a 4-sided die, to a D20. And so then I have to like roll a die to figure out what die to roll. Maybe I flip a coin to figure out what kind of die to roll. I don't know. We shall figure it out. And yes, I know that's just me making things overly complicated, and I explained the joke, so I ruined it. Yay. Okay. Okay. So 129 millimeters. probably what happened is I ended up having to round it in inches and it got messed up that way. Actually, now that I'm thinking that this might be rounding error, I think it might be worth the hassle to switch this to millimeters. Yes, I have my screen share up. Great. Unit of measurement. Oh, yeah, millimeters. Okay. I've actually never done millimeters in this program. Not that it should be hard, but it's just nothing I've ever done. So, you weren't suggesting a D20. Okay, when most people say roll a die, they mean like a normal cube die or a 6-sided die or a D6 as us nerds call it. So, yeah, again, I was probably just making things unnecessarily complicated. Okay, I need to ungroup that. And for anybody who doesn't know, this is Silhouette Studio. This is the program that I use to design most of my stickers. I also sometimes use Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Fresco on my iPad, but primarily it's Silhouette Studio. And the red lines are where the stickers will be cut. The blue line is where the sticker sheet will be cut out. And I always design a little bit over the edge. It's called the bleeds. And that allows, basically, when you cut stickers, it's basically expected that you're going to get some cuts that are a little off at some point in time. And so that gives a little bit of extra color or pattern or whatever it is around where the stickers cut, so that if the cuts don't quite match where I'm programming them to go by, like, I mean, we're talking like a millimeter, like even 2 millimeters would be incredibly, incredibly off. At that point, it would probably get trashed. But you know, if it's a millimeter off, basically there won't be a white border around something that's not supposed to have a white border. And, sorry, I just saw something here, and I will finish what I'm saying, and then I will go back to that. And then that is why a lot of stickers that you see do have a white border around them, because if the design, like for one reason or another, doesn't necessarily make sense to do bleeds, usually this is things for like icons, or you know, you see stickers with a little picture in there, they'll put a white border around it so that if and when it cuts a little off, it cuts into the white border and not actually the image, and it helps it not actually look that off once it's cut. I'm sorry for those of you who have been around here, because I've explained this 10 million times, but I do want to make sure that I'm not leaving anybody who is not familiar with this behind, because I know that designing is not something a lot of people do. Oh, you were gonna make 5E stickers? Oh, yay! I have been, I actually hand drew some dice stickers a while back, and I just have not gotten around to laying out the sheet. I should really get to that. There was, basically, when I originally did it, I hand did just like the numbers on the face of the die, and then I realized I should have a version where like all the numbers pop up. So you could like take a sticker, if you take handwritten notes for D&D or tabletop, and you know, and put it in there or something to say like, oh, this is what I rolled. So anyway, I have to go in and just choose a font. Like, it's really a super easy thing that I need to do. I just haven't gotten around to it because I'm crazy busy right now. It's so it's Pride Month, and I have a lot of Pride stickers in my shop. So June tends to be very busy for me, sometimes even more busy than like the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, that sort of thing. As you might imagine with planners, the holiday season goes through like the middle of January because people are getting organized, getting their new planners, calendars, etc. And then on top of everything, I made the stupid decision last night to stay up until 4 a.m. watching season 3 of the 𝗫𝗏𝗏 Academy, which was amazing. I loved it. I couldn't put it down. Usually when I watch a new season of something that comes out, I watch it in 2 to 3 chunks. And this is the first one in quite a while that I've watched the whole thing in one night, especially when they are approximately 40-minute episodes. So what I was going to say is I just measured this to be 129 millimeters, and it looks like it's, or wide, and it looks like it's already 129 millimeters wide, which means that somewhere along the way, probably it's my cuts, are somehow a little off. And that's really weird because while I definitely have had issues sizing stickers in the past, I have not had issues with stickers being cut in a way that makes me think they're off. As you probably can tell from me talking about all of this, I do tend to be fairly meticulous with my sizing. And it's in some ways kind of it's a practical thing because I know that there is some degree of error and variability when it comes to cutting that I can't control for without wasting a lot of sticker paper and a lot of time. And so I'm very meticulous with my sizing and making sure that is all correct so that, again, if and when those things happen, it won't be nearly as much of an issue. And so maybe that's why I've never had issues with sizes being off. I was just looking at my calibration here, or my distance adjustment. I look at it every so often because when I, funny story, when I do print planner stickers, or cut them I should say, usually by this in the page right here, they are cutting a little off. Usually the lines are a little bit up and to the left. Like just like we're talking probably even less than a millimeter. If they are, you know, significant to the point that like things are getting cut into, then that doesn't end up getting sold. Because again, I do want to make sure that people are getting a good product when they pay me for stickers, especially because my stickers are not the cheapest on the marketplace. But I feel like because I do put a lot of effort and care into sizing things, they're worth it, and I need to make sure they stay worth it for people. Kind of like how Erin Condren, you know, can charge a lot for planners and planner accessories because they, you know, their planners are good quality, their paper is amazing, and their designs, you know, are a little bit out of the ordinary. I know that not all of my designs are necessarily out of the ordinary because there is only so much you can do with a rectangular planner sticker, but I feel like I can make it worth it by paying attention to those little details. And so that's something that I do take care to do, again, so that I can justify the price that I am selling my stickers for, because I think that's important. And I know that when I buy stickers, sometimes I will be frustrated when things don't line up perfectly, especially if I paid a premium for them. So it's one of those, like, you know, treat my customers the way I'd want to be treated. That sounds like the golden rule. It's obviously more complicated than that. But anyway, so I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to make that 130 millimeters wide. Because I'm not having issues with any of my other stickers, I think I'm just going to have to do that and hope that, I mean, I think it's about, yeah, it's about a millimeter short. So hopefully that is right, and I can mess with sizes if I need to. So we can do that, or I can do that, or whatever. If I need to, I can mess with the sizes a little bit. Let me just go ahead and take that away, and let's go ahead and get the back of that put back in. Oh, let's go here first and actually create it. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, that's not going to work. I have to, here we go. I have to switch back to inches now because I know what I do for my bleeds. I do what is it, 0.035 inches, I think? I don't know. I just said I know, and then I say I don't know, which is hilarious. I think it's just, no, 0.35, or 0.035, there it is. Usually, it's already in there. In fact, it probably would have been already in there had I not changed it, but because I was in metric, I didn't recognize it as being the correct dimension. Sometimes to do little insets or other things, I do have to change whatever's in that panel, and then that ends up, and then that stays the default the next time I use it. So that's what happened, but usually because I used 0.035 last, it's already there. I don't know. It's one of those things that I like always check, but I usually don't have to. But I've messed up enough and had to go back and like check everything just to be safe over my years that I check it every time, because it's simple enough, and it's not one of those things that I like actually think about. It's like more of a like I glance at it to make sure it's correct, which is why I had a situation there where I said where I put the wrong thing in. Okay, so there's that. We have these. Oh, this was my test sheet, by the way. I never tested the habit tracker. I think I need to finagle the transparency on these a little bit, but that can be something for another day. I know last time we were talking about habit trackers, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I like this layout or design. I'm pretty sure that was the design I did on stream. I don't think I worked on it at all off stream, but honestly, it's growing on me. So I think that's how it's gonna stay. Okay, now let me go ahead and get out my ruler again. And as I explained before, there are a lot of people who have measured these things, and when I am getting very picky about my measurements, I like to measure for myself just to be safe, because I don't know if they measured from like the top of the line or the middle of the line. There's just so many, there's just like little things that can cause it to be a little off when you're working with such small measurements. Okay, so this is 7 millimeters. I need to find just like a unit conversion app to have on my computer, because I always have to Google it. Not that that's a problem, but you know, it's one of those things. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull a bunch of these off, because I don't need them because we're resizing them, and then we will reduplicate. These again go between one line, and then I have ones that are sized to go between 2, and then ones that are sized to go between 5. So we have so the 5 is like the compact vertical version of a half box, and then we have the 2, which is kind of a quarter box, and then a 1. And so with all of these, we can then use them to create other stickers. Like we have the habit tracker here. There are also like build do stickers and other things like that that we can do. So there are a lot of different options that I need to get these sizes correct for in order for them to work. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So let me go ahead and take a look at this size and see how much I have to finagle it. Oh, height 0.265. Okay, so I need it to be 275. And because that's a small enough variation, I think I can still use this middle white box and be okay. I'll be safe and resize that one though, or redo that one. Again, we're talking about very small margins here, and I'm talking about bleeds. So it's the part that's not even going to make it onto the sticker. But one benefit to having them correct is that the sheet, when they're laid out, before you take the stickers off the sheet, looks more uniform when the bleeds are all uniform. And that is one of those things, again, a lot of people probably do this, but it's one of those things that just makes it look a little bit more professional, a little bit more nice, you know, just makes them nicer stickers to experience using. And so it's something that I pay attention to. Okay, so we have that as our base, and honestly, the sizes are close enough that I don't think I have to redo the whole thing. So we're gonna go ahead and copy this, and I'm just changing the background out for fun at this point. It does not need to be changed for practical purposes, because again, I'm still kind of designing the stickers that are going to go in this. And so what I'm gonna do now is I am copying basically the habit tracker part of this sticker. I'm grouping it together, and I actually don't even need to copy it. I need to bring it to the front, and then we'll just go ahead and paste that in there. center it. And then, as I said earlier, I do want to play around ever so slightly with transparency, because things end up looking a lot more transparent here than they do once things are actually printed. And that just has to do with limitations of physical printers. You can have a lot more variability isn't necessarily the right word, but you can have a lot more, basically printers can't print as many colors as a screen can display. Let's see, that's 0.86, 1.186, 0.186. Okay. These just weren't lining up correctly, so I just wanted to resize everything. So they did. Again, I don't think it really shows on the finished sticker, but it is one of those small things that I think ultimately makes a difference. And these lines are not the same, so we need to go ahead and change that as well. I hope this isn't going to be super boring, because I am getting into the fine-tuning part of the process, which, or for some of these stickers, which is a lot of kind of like going in there and seeing what small things need to be changed. Okay, there we go. So I am going to group the M back together for Monday briefly. Let's see, unselect, great, so that I can make sure everything is centered now that I have my line weights correct, or stroke weights, sometimes they're called that. It's basically the same thing in the design world. And I will mention, and this is like always a thing when I'm doing these like Design With Me streams, if you are unclear about anything that I'm talking about or any of the terminology that I'm using, please let me know in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, in the comments, and I will do my best to explain. I am not, well, I was going to say I'm not an expert. I mean, like, I'm not a teacher of these things, but so I'm trying to break it down as simply as possible, but I also don't want to leave anybody behind if I'm not breaking it down enough. And I don't want to repeat myself a million times over for people that already know what I'm talking about. So I go over things that I feel like are fairly important from the get-go, but for things that, you know, I might not necessarily deem are urgently important to go over every single time it comes up, and I just kind of use the terms. If you don't understand them, please let me know. I've been doing design in some way, shape, or form since I was about 9 or 10 years old. Of course, then I was self-taught and I like didn't know anything, but my point is I've been doing this for a long time, and so it's hard for me to experience, I guess, what everybody else experiences, having, you know, not being completely familiar with all the lingo and stuff like that. I hope that makes sense. Yes, Leah, group ungroup is amazing, and I will say that sometimes I'll say what I'm doing, and you might not see me doing anything on the screen, but I am using shortcuts on my keyboard to do that. I'm not, apart from explaining what I'm doing, I'm trying not to change my actual workflow so you can actually see how I do this and how I design stickers and use the program, etc., etc. Okay, so what I want to do is, now that I have all of that done, I am going to take each of these. Come on. Sometimes for some reason, like, I hold down Shift when I click on these to select everything, and for some reason stuff doesn't, like, something will sometimes come unselected. I don't know if there's something wrong with my Shift key or if I'm not pressing it correct, but whatever. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am looking at these stickers on the paper, and again, printers cannot print as many different colors as you can see on the screen, which is why, and there's also variability between each printer. So you'll oftentimes see, it's often in footnotes, but like, you know, things might look a little different than they are on the screen and stuff like that. And that is kind of to, you know, cover the ass or whoever it is. Like, oh, this wasn't the exact, I don't know, orange that I ordered. It's like, well, I mean, it might have been exact on my screen, but if your screen is going to show colors a little bit differently, then I have no way of knowing that. So, and as I said, printers tend to print colors a little bit differently. It is not, oftentimes it's between brands and models, not necessarily between one printer and another. And I know that from experience, at least in my case. I have 2 printers that are from the same company, same model. For anyone who's interested, it's the Epson ET7700. They have recently upgraded it, but it's, I don't know what the upgraded one is called. It's a very similar model number. Basically, this is like the low-grade professional eco tank that Epson offers. They also have a version that prints 11x17, which I do not personally print. Mine is only set to print, or mine will only print up to, what is it? Whatever a number is considered like equivalent to letter. I'm blanking on what it is. A6 maybe? No, would that be A3? Anyway, if you're in a country that uses the logical pattern for these things, then for paper, because even though I do not understand how the A sizes for paper work, I do agree that they are more logical than what we use here. Why are those? Sorry, I'm just getting, the layers are not agreeing with me. And it's pissing me off. Okay, fine. We're gonna send that to the back. We're gonna take these and we're gonna group them all together. And then I can mess with all their transparency at once. Since we're not playing around with the layout of anything, we are just playing around with the transparencies and things like that. Okay. I don't want these letters to be completely visible, but in my current iteration of the stickers, they are a little bit less visible than I would have liked. It's not enough that I would go back immediately and redo it, but it's the kind of thing that, you know, when I get a chance, I'll go redo it, sort of deal. Okay, Leah, you have questions about file management. Honestly, I have such a trouble keeping everything organized. If some time we could see your workflow file management, I'd love that. I mean, I'll just show it to you now. It's, I use a similar file management for a lot of my different files, but really my planner stickers are the biggest thing that I do file management for. So I did spend a little bit of time kind of figuring out where what exactly things were going to look like, because I do have a little bit more of a convention than I do with other files. And hello, Ackman, yes, we go again. So this is my beautiful external hard drive. Oh, you can't see the top. Her name is Juno. Yes, I named my hard drives. It's so much more fun seeing something that says Juno on my desktop than external, you know, like external drive or whatever it is, like, you know, Samsung external drive. I don't know. Having a name, so much more fun. I keep my sticker designs on an external drive just because my Mac doesn't have enough space for all the for everything. Like space, before I did this, space was constantly an issue. So anyway, 𝗀𝗀𝗁𝗁 Design is the name of my sticker shop. So that's the file that goes here. I also keep other stuff, obviously, on the external drive. And then this is kind of my base for file management. The 3 folders in here that I use the most are design assets. These are different, this is artwork or clip art that I have licensed from other artists. I use a couple of different sites to do that and then download to my computer. And all things going according to plan, they eventually get saved here. I say all things according to plan because a lot of times they just end up hanging out in my downloads folder forever. Because I'm really bad about cleaning that out. But anyway, then I have other, which I probably should rename at some point, but this is files that are not documents in like the sense of like Word documents and whatnot, but they're not necessarily the actual design of stickers. If I don't know exactly where I need to put something, I just kind of put it at the bottom. But other than that, I do try to keep stuff in folders. I also haven't gone back and reorganized this folder in quite a while, so things in here are definitely kind of messy. But for instance, when Erin Condren, I think it was in 2020 was the year that it was the 2019-2020 planner when they started curving the edges, and so I physically scanned them in and made some mock-ups and stuff like that, but I also have scans in a different place. So again, this is a little bit messed up. The ones that I use most are, where are they? Oh my goodness, of course. So I keep, well, not obviously, but I keep my logo in logos, and I have several different iterations. I try not to delete anything that's old and just archive it in case I ever need to go back and need it. Packaging I use, so I have my own thank you cards and my sticker freebies that I send out so I can get to those anytime. Again, I have different versions and I just save them with different version numbers. Shop stickers, I have a few different files in here. Mostly I just have I have a little sticker that I put on the back of my removable matte stickers sometimes so I can tell the difference between them. I mean, so it's things like that. I don't use, as I said, a ton of this. And then there's, I think it's Etsy listing images where I have some of my files for templates and whatnot for listing images. And by the way, these files that look like this, those are InDesign files. And I used to use that for my mock-ups and listing images on Etsy. I've since switched to Photoshop, which is a blue icon, but that is basically it's an older file every time you see the InDesign thing. And there are some things with the new versions, like a lot of these things, I don't necessarily update them very often. So let me see if I can find a saved one. So this is my first version of a here's how long you can expect your stuff. Basically, it's we're in the US and it's Christmas time and mail gets delayed sort of image. And since then I have changed it around. I actually need to do another revision of it. But so I still have both the original file as well as the exported file. So anyway, let me show you this one. I used to have this one that I put on some of my listings where I had a picture of me before I had any blonde hair, Coco and Opal, and it was very cute. I don't think it really stayed that long because I didn't end up using this particular listing image style for very long. But for the most part, I make my own mock-ups just because I can control that. So anyway, good point, Ackman. A lot of times it's called miscellaneous. And then what you probably really wanted to look at was sticker designs. So this is where I keep all of my actual sticker designs. And as you can see, this is huge. This is another one that I do need to go back and organize at some particular point in time. I do little bits here and there though. So the first two at the top have an A in front of them just so they stay at the top of the list, since for the most part I sort everything by name. Occasionally I'll sort things by date modified, but that's usually when I'm pulling something from downloads or desktop, like if I've taken a screenshot or if I'm downloading something, makes it easier to find the last thing I just downloaded. But other than that, I like to sort all of it by name. So Sticker Club is my sticker subscription. I do have a link for that down below if anybody is interested. But basically there's this whole permutation thing. So it has a kit, and then I also do a mystery sheet, which everybody gets, and functional sticker sheets. And you can, with the functional sticker sheets and sticker kit, you can kind of choose what works best for you as far as what size of kit, do you want the functional sticker sheets, etc., etc. So the kits are in this folder, but in here I have the files for functional sticker sheets. So it's 4 sheets, and I put them on in two files. So if that makes sense. And then for June, I actually got the sticker subscription out late. And when I get the sticker subscription out substantially late, like I did this month, totally on me, I send a bonus sheet of stickers as a thank you for your patience and an apology that things were a little late. So that's what I do to make it right when I am running late, since I am a one-woman 𝗀𝗃𝗃 show, and unfortunately Coco and Opal are not very good at picking up the slack when I don't get stuff. So, and then these are just previous years of the sticker club, and I keep the present year there. And by the way, when I'm doing dates, anytime that I think I will like actually be going back and looking at dates, I always do it year, month, or year, and then the letter of the month. And then in this particular case, I put the name of the month because it's easier for me to read it that way. But the reason why I do that is so that when I sort it by name, it automatically sorts in the correct month order. Whereas if I just named it January, February, March, April without the year and without the letter of the, or the number of the month ahead of it, it'd be all jumbled up and it would be harder for me to find. Obviously I don't have any, well, not obviously, I should have my shit together for the sticker club, but usually I end up figuring out what's going to go in it right before it gets shipped out. So anyway, those folders are empty, and then these are past year's archives so that they're not in my way, but I can get to them. Sticker kits is a new folder that I recently pulled out. They used to be just in with everything else, but it was getting very hard to find the sticker kits. So I just have them all in here. And I guess that kind of gets into the kind of the naming convention and the file system for the actual stickers. So as I said, I definitely need to clean this up because it is more convoluted than it needs to be. But the idea is that each kind of theme of stickers or type of stickers goes in their own, its own folder. So some of these are pretty obvious. Bill Do, big stickers are like 2 and 3 inch stickers. That's a little bit different, and I'm still trying to sort that one out. Christmas sticker sheets, pretty obvious. I'm going to go into functional because that is this folder that actually ends up getting used for the most different things, and you can kind of see how it's set up in some ways. It also has a lot of stuff in it, so it is a little convoluted. So anyway, I have some folders at the top. I'll go through those in a second. So basically, when I name my files, first I name what it is, then if there is a color appropriate. So for instance, this is a barbell and it's a blue barbell. I don't actually offer barbell stickers in any other colors, but if it's a specific color that I think I may change in the future or offer different colors, I stick the color in there from the get-go so that I don't have to go back and rename a bunch of things later. And then I have the size of the sticker sheet. The sizes I offer are small, medium, and large, and then I have a mixed sheet. I didn't used to offer the large. Well, my current medium used to be large, and then I got requests for bigger stickers, so I made the old large medium and did a new bigger one that's a large. So you will see some that are just small, mixed, and medium, or small, mixed, and large, and those just haven't been converted over yet, usually because I'm lazy or because I don't have, or I just haven't gotten around to it yet, or it doesn't sell well enough to be worth my time. I don't like to remove old stuff from the shop unless I am actively embarrassed of it, but I just, you know, because it might be something that someone wants, but I wouldn't go back and maybe update it. So that is my naming convention, and so the base folder, if all goes to plan, has the, oh, and if there's any other, by the way, descripting factors in here, I'll put it kind of in the middle. So for instance, this is like a little teacup, and it has a little, you know, kawaii face on it. So I have tea kawaii medium because I could see myself doing a teacup that isn't the kawaii, you know, sort of thing. So anyway, that's, but those kind of go in the middle. Usually I find that I either there's a color or some other descriptor that makes sense. So I do that. Here is an example of having both of them. Meditation, brown hair, old rainbow. I've changed my like quote unquote rainbow standard colors a couple of times. So I usually rename the old version to like old rainbow or rainbow V1 or something like that, or V2 if that's applicable, just so I can tell the difference between the files pretty easily. But the size is always last. So that is my file naming convention for the actual files. The .studio 3 or Silhouette Studio files, this is what I open up and print out. And then here are the folders at the top. So graphic assets are basically anything that I need to save for a specific sticker that isn't necessarily already contained in design assets. Or if I'm modifying something in design assets, I'll put it here. Or if I drew something and I'm like transferring it over to the computer instead of putting it in design assets, I'll put it here for whatever the applicable category is. For the most part, this is just a place to dump it until I end up inserting it into a sticker sheet. Next, I have mockups, and that's the folder that I use most. So I have, again, changed my convention for this a couple of times, but for the most part, I have a folder for each type of sticker. So obviously this is a lot shorter than the original list because I put small, medium, and large in the same folder. I did not used to do that. So when I open this up, well, I recently did this one. So I know this one's gonna be the new naming convention, but you know, car-blue. Again, not sure if I'm gonna release another color of car stickers. So, but I licensed this particular the picture of the car, and it's blue, so I didn't bother changing it. So within here, this even to me is a jumbled mess, but luckily I don't have to look at it very long, so it doesn't really matter. So when I export, I basically print my Silhouette Studio file as a PDF to get a PDF of what the actual file looks like. It degrades the color a little bit, but that's actually a plus when you're doing your own mock-ups because my printer cannot print as brightly as my computer screen, or computer screens in general these days can display colors. So it's actually good that it gets a little bit lighter. It's not enough that most people would notice. It took me a while to notice the difference, and yeah, unless you're looking for it, you don't necessarily notice it. But anyway, I don't know why I went on that. So I print that to PDF, and then I save it as a PNG, or actually usually I do it as a PSD, which is a Photoshop file, but this time I had the wrong settings on, and so it got saved as a PNG, which is just one type of image file. So I'm sorry, this is kind of convoluted. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. So from there, once I have them saved as PSDs, at that point in time, I pull out the sticker itself and create a mock-up of the sticker. And I actually have these, the final mock-ups for these cars open. I don't think I have the single sticker ones open. My computer really desperately needs to be rebooted, and I keep forgetting until like right before I'm gonna stream, so it doesn't happen. But basically I make a mock-up of this. And here's the large size single sticker. And I basically have this size so that when I drop it into the mock-up, I don't have to mess around with the sizes, because the size of this file is already sized to perfectly fit the size of, where's the large one? Perfectly fit the size of the finger in my main picture. So all of this is to scale. I spent a lot of time measuring fingers of a lot of people and trying to find out like what is the average woman's finger size. Obviously, it varies a little bit, but I did want to make it as representative as possible for most people. So I have a version of this for each different size, and then of course I made the mistake of clicking on something, and then I have a mixed one where I show both of them. Within the actual Etsy listing, you can actually choose the size, but this is the first image so that people can kind of get an idea of the size. And then I use the saved assets to put into these, and these all have their own naming conventions as well. I know we're doing files, but as I said, it kind of goes into there, so I figured I'd just show you that. So this is the second picture. Again, it's basically the naming convention that we did previously. So, you know, in this case, it's car, blue, and then because every size gets the same picture, I don't have to put a size on there. I just say pick 2. This one is car, blue, small, pick 1. So this is the small size. Pick 1 is like the main image on Etsy. I hope that makes sense. And so I have, So I have this image that shows the size of the stickers in comparison to a 7x9 Erin Condren vertical. And again, all of this was like meticulously sized when I created the template, so I don't have to go back and do it every time. And then I also list the sizes in inches. And then I also have a third one that kind of shows the sheets and the difference in the sizes side by side on a sticker sheet. And then I put how many stickers are on each sheet in the description, so I don't have to fill that in. So anyway, all of those have their own naming conventions. I save them as a PSD file because that's the Photoshop file format, and then I export it to a PNG, and all of that mess gets saved in the same folder. Again, I'm aware it's convoluted, but luckily I do not have to go back in very often. And because I do have a set naming convention, when I do need to grab something, even if it's a convoluted mess, it's usually pretty easy to tell exactly what I need. So that is basically my structure. As I said, functional is the biggest one, but if something gets big enough, I will pull it out of functional. For instance, garbage and recycling was originally in functional. I originally had a sheet that was both garbage and recycling pails, and then I ended up doing a sheet that was just garbage and just recycling. And I also had another sheet that was like trash cans with little words. And so this was like a big enough list that I'm like, let's just give it its own thing because functional is already huge. And then sometimes I also have to have a folder files for silhouette. Basically, sometimes the original files like have weird printing things and I just have to do some workarounds, and so I save that file so I don't have to do it every time. Yeah, that is basically what it is. There are some other things that, you know, come into place. Sometimes this stuff is going to be pretty simple what it is. You know, quarter box is square, quarter box is rounded, St. Patty's Day, templates. That's not actual stickers. That's just my templates. Work stickers, yoga mat. Here's an example of when I have both sizes and colors. Like, the list is huge of all of the different sticker files, which is why it has its own. Same with the hearts. The hearts is a crazy list. Pride is another one. I separate that into pride hearts, pride rainbows, pride rectangles, which have not actually been released, have general pride stickers, and then pride flags, again, not released. I should have, because this is Pride Month, but again, really busy. I'm actually thinking about combining these all into a Pride folder. So basically it will be one folder that says Pride, and then in that will be the subfolders for the different types of Pride stickers, just to make it a little easier on myself. So that is basically my file system. I know that was a big, huge, convoluted checklist, but feel free to steal any of my naming conventions if those make sense for you. Let me actually just show you my sticker kits real fast so I can show you what the naming convention is for that in case that is helpful. So Mermaid Dreams, which is more like just a mermaid kit, is the most recent one, so I'll show you that. This is literally the file we're working on currently. I don't know if it's going to stay mermaid theme, but whatever. So I offer 3 different versions of my kits. I have a full kit, which is 6 pages. I have a mini kit, which is 2 pages. Then I have a functional kit, which is 4 pages. It's basically the full kit, except without the full boxes, for people that don't like the decorative full boxes. But it has a little bit of deco. So you still get the theme and you still have the colors, you just don't have the full boxes. There's a couple other differences, but those are the main ones. Like, there's no date covers, things like that. So I have full page 1, 2, 3, because I have 2 sheets of stickers on each page of paper. And then I have functional page 2. You'll notice there's not a functional page 1. So the reason I do it this way is because functional page 2 is, the file is based off of full page 2 with some modifications. And so it would be confusing to me to have a functional page 1. And then functional kits get the full page 3. There aren't any modifications to that one. So for the functional kit, I only have to adjust page 2. That's how that goes. And then the mini kit, because it's 2 sheets of stickers, I only have to print it out on 1 page of paper. It's just 1. Again, I have design assets. Typically for kits, this ends up being the full boxes that I designed in Photoshop along with the original design file. And then mock-ups. And this is then split into full kit, functional, and mini kit. And then within this, it's not nearly as convoluted because I don't have to do mock-ups of individual stickers and things like that. This one I actually haven't done everything for because I'm trying to redesign my mock-ups. This is the problem with doing your own mock-ups, is that you have to do them yourself. And so you have some benefits because you can custom make them, but when you can't come up with a good thing to do, then it runs into issues. So again, kind of like the other stickers, this is my original export. This is me saving it in a Photoshop file. I have to do that because of like some weird back-end technical reason. It's stupid. And then for this kit, I had 1, 2, and 3, but I only have 1 and 2 exported. So that either means I decided to not do 3 or I just forgot to export it. Sometimes I do that. So yeah, that is how the kits work. I just exported page 2 for the functional, and again, I'll pull page 3 from the full kit one when I actually go in to do it. And usually as a template, once I have my mockup, I just pull a past kit that I used that template in as my template again. So while I do have a file that says templates, I actually don't. It's more of a backup. Okay, that is my crazy, but still makes sense to me file system. I hope that was informative and not too boring for those of you who do not have a bunch of different files that you have to keep track of. So yeah, that's how that works. Okay, so let me get back to this. So we have our compact vertical kit, and I do have things I'm trying to sort out for today. So as I mentioned earlier, we are going to play around with transparency today. I'm going to change this to 80. Okay, so we have those sized and we have that size, so we're all good on sizing. As I mentioned earlier, today I'm not necessarily going to put everything in its final place where it's going to be on the pages, but I probably will get it relatively close because I would like to have something that is at least somewhat ready to be printed out and tested for size and usability and whatnot today. I don't like that much transparency, but I'm thinking once it prints, since the white prints harder, I guess, I'm thinking that I'm thinking it will correct itself and look better. So anyway. Oh, actually, I don't want to completely do those yet because now that I have the size for those, I am going to do 3 habit trackers. It might not end up being 3 that make it into the kit. But since I'm laying it out, I'm just going to do 3 to kind of make sure it's not just 1. Okay, so one thing that we talked about last time was making, or maybe we talked about it the time before, doesn't matter. Making some sort of system for the boxes where you have like an icon on it so that I can essentially have a bunch of these and then have a bunch of icons and people can kind of mix and match their own. But I have to do it in such a way that it makes it pretty obvious what it's for because I don't want to assume that people are going to understand it right off the bat without some sort of explanation. So I have a couple of options here. By the way, I do not have to keep these icons in this exact configuration, like the rounded squares. That just happens to be what I do with my other kits. I think I did it that way because I'd never seen people do rounded squares. They usually did circles, and I'm like, this is cute and it's off the beaten path. So, but it doesn't have to stay that way. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. When I mess around with the design, I do usually like to copy it so that I still have my original. And I've mentioned this before, but I'll end up with a lot of stuff in my margins from stuff I've previously copied. Or, you know, I'm making changes, but I want to keep wherever it is at this particular point in time in case I need to go back. What I will say is that I'm really bad at labeling what's what. So a lot of times, even though I keep something in the margins with good intentions, it ends up essentially being trash. Because I forget what it is. Okay. So there are a couple of different ways I could do this. I could go the route that I did in my Etsy shop. Let me kind of go back and, oh, I'm so sorry. I tried to like put my thing on the screen. I forgot to remove anything personal from my main screen, and that was an email from Yulia. I'm very sorry. I clicked off of it so fast that I don't know exactly how much of your personal information was visible. I hope it wasn't any. I think YouTube will let me go back after the stream and blur things out, so I will go back later after the stream and blur out anything appropriate. I'm very sorry. So let's just, no, I didn't want to go there. Okay, give me a sec. I'm gonna take off the screen share for a sec so I don't get myself into even more trouble. Should have done that from the start. Okay. Believe it or not, I do not have a direct link on my desktop to my shop. Which is where this whole thing. Is this seriously? Oh, right. Ha ha ha. So I have another shop that I literally have like one item in called Coco and Opal Prints. The idea was that it was my printables shop, and I haven't really done too much in the way of printables, so I never ended up taking it anywhere. I do want to start releasing more printables. This is a very old monthly kit from 2019. I didn't end up doing a lot with monthly kits. I did release a couple of physical ones, but they sold so little that I just didn't, I didn't spend a lot of time on it. But I want to, do I not have any more images? Okay, whatever. You can't quite see it, but this is kind of what I'm talking about. I don't know if I want to use those exact shapes, but this is the idea. So it's a bunch of, I mean, essentially, it's these. I put a couple extra ones in there because I had extra space. So it's a bunch of these and then a bunch of icons. And there are more icons than those, but the idea is that you're not going to need all of the icons. So I can save space on the sticker sheet by separating the icons out from the rest of this. That way, you can kind of personalize what it is, or you could use the icons by themselves, or you could use these by themselves. And so it gives you a lot of flexibility with how you use them. And so I would like to implement something similar for my compact vertical kits, I think. So I hope that makes sense, but that's kind of what I'm going after. Yeah, even looking at this, I'm like, oh my God, my design skills. I didn't draw any of this artwork, I licensed it, but my design skills as far as laying stuff out has come a long way. Anyway, come on, change screens. No? Okay, sorry, my computer's being stupid. Okay. There we go. Okay, desktop 3. Okay, I'm glad it wasn't, I mean, still, I do not want to release anybody's personal information, but I'm glad you're not super worried about it on your end because you know more how you have your email account set up than I do. And so, yeah. I'll still go back and double check. And as I said, I'm pretty sure YouTube will let me put a blur in after the fact. So actually, let me go ahead and grab a pen and write down the approximate time. That way I don't have to scrub through the whole thing. Okay. I'll still look at it because I didn't write it down in as thorough a way I could, but that's okay. All right, so here's what I'm thinking about. I like the rounded corners on these, but with the rest of the compact vertical layout, I don't think it makes sense to follow, to necessarily, to round the corners on this. So with the With the 7x9 vertical, we do have those like rounded, corners or, rounded rectangles, columns, whatever you want to call it. It's probably rounded corners on the columns is the technical way to say it. Anyway, you know what I mean. We have that. So having my icons as rounded squares makes logical sense as far as fitting in with the rest of the theme. And it makes logical sense, and I wasn't, as I said, wasn't layering them on top of anything. In this case, I am. And in order to make it match as perfectly as I would like, I would have to make the edges of this rounded, which I do not think makes sense. Given the way the compact vertical is set up, rounding the corners would make it more likely that a little bit of the line would show at the edge when someone puts down the sticker. And that is one of those things that I don't want to happen. So I either need to make these completely square, which is completely reasonable to do, or I could make them a circle, and then I also have to decide, are they going to be like perfectly in line with it? I think they will. Sometimes people will put the icons bigger, but I think that works better for a layout that is not lined. Like a 7x9 vertical, you don't have lines, so you can space things out a little bit more. That looks cute. When you have the lines, at least me, when I'm putting stuff in, if stuff goes over like at the top or the bottom of the line, then it can bump into whatever I'm putting below it, and that can bug me. I hope that logic made sense, but again, I am trying to give you my stream of consciousness as I am designing, unless you guys are specifically asking me a question. I'm just trying to, yeah, I'm trying to show you my thought process as I'm thinking through this. So I think what I want to do is create essentially a square that goes in that corner. And what I'll do is I will have a variety of colors, both for the icons and for these, and you can kind of mix and match them. Or you can make them match. Exactly. That's kind of what I did. Oh, where is it now? All of the files. Way too many. Here we go. As you can see, that's what I did here. I only had 2 colors that I was going back and forth between, but you can kind of get the idea. I'm probably not going to do all the icons in all 4 colors that I typically have in my kits, but I'll be doing all 4 colors of these, so if someone wanted to mix them or match them, there should be the ability to do so. I hope that made sense. I keep saying that. I hope that made sense. Because my brain is a crazy place, and who knows if my logic is applying to other people. So I'm selecting the red cut line, and I'm just making a copy of it. Again, I am using a keyboard shortcut for that. I didn't have to make a copy, but for me, because I would like these to line up exactly with this sticker for people that do want to use it that way, at least as a test. The other thing I could do is I could do a circle. We might get there soon, but we're gonna start with a square. So I'm just gonna make that 0.265 so that it is a perfect square that fits perfectly in line with that sticker. Then I'm gonna add a bleed to it. So offset, that's gonna be a cornered bleed. And then I'll go ahead and make it blue. I mean, it doesn't especially matter, but just for, I don't know, shits and giggles. Well, I needed to make it a color. It doesn't matter if it's that blue exactly. And then because the bleed automatically goes on with a red outline, I just took that off. By the way, I could change the settings in the program so the bleeds don't automatically do a red outline, but when I'm doing functional stickers, a lot of the times I will do whatever is inside and then put the cut lines on. And so for those stickers, it's easy to do it that way. So I can make one mode of doing this easier or the other, and that's just the one I chose. Okay, so here's our icon. Now, it's a little bit big because, again, remember I mentioned that things will often cut a little off. The bleed is to account for that. And so I think, oops, I want to make the icon a little bit smaller so that it doesn't look significantly off center, or in a severe case gets cut off in that event. So I locked the aspect ratio of this particular image so that when I change a width or a height, both of them get changed. And I'm just kind of playing around until I find something that I think looks good. I may end up changing it later, but the goal is to have it as big as possible while still feeling like I have enough of a border. And I honestly do not typically work this small with stickers. So I don't have a great idea of exactly what a good border will look like. Excuse me, thank you. I think that will be good. So I know these have bleeds on them, but the idea is that you could kind of mix and match to make your own here. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a bunch of these, and then we'll also do a half version so that, you know, you can do a smaller version of, oh, but actually you wouldn't be, well, I was going to say, like, you wouldn't have that much room to write. I'll print it out and see what I think. I know I write small, so it might be enough for me. And if it's just like something super simple, like, you know, get gas or something like that, then that might be okay. But, yeah. Now, the other thing I have to decide is, do I want to change this little lighter portion on the inside to account for this? The benefit of doing that, there are a couple of different benefits. The first benefit is that, here, let me copy this so I don't think I actually made any changes to the previous version, but just to be safe. So the benefit of doing it that way, as soon as I line everything up correctly, so you hopefully get an idea of what things would look like. So if I do it if I make this shorter, and I'd actually size it out correctly, since these are going to come separately, it will make it more obvious that these are supposed to go together, which is a benefit. You could theoretically also write something here. I could even put a checkbox here, but that would make it less obvious that these are supposed to go together. That would just look like a one-off to do, which in and of itself could be a great sticker. But then you could theoretically cover it with an icon if you didn't want the check mark, or you could flip it around if you wanted the check mark. But the benefit of having the middle part go all the way to the edge is that it does become more of a multi-purpose sticker, so that you could use it with or without an icon without having to put anything here, and it can be usable as both. And so that can help in, I guess, in laying it out. I wouldn't necessarily have to think about, do I want to include one or just both versions, because they're both in the same version. But it, again, I do want to make it pretty clear that that's what it's for. I'm hoping that a lot of people who are using this would at least be a little bit familiar with planning. And when I actually, and I could always have like a, you know, either a mock-up or a picture of a used spread or something like that in the listing to hopefully make that more clear. I'm with you, Leah. I like multi-use stickers. I just like the idea of it, of like the box being contained there. But And it doesn't look bad like that. I'm remembering why I did this correctly, or why I did this the way I did this when I originally designed it. Give me a sec. Ha! Watch me be completely wrong. I'm pretty sure I remember why I eventually decided to design them as rounded squares. And I wouldn't, considering I think I forgot why I did it, I would not be surprised if everybody else forgot why I did it, or didn't pick up on it, I guess I should say. Okay, so I'll just grab this one. Okay, group, copy, paste. There we go. Okay, I'm pretty sure I designed this so they fit right there. So you could put this in the top of one of those corners. And I might have even gotten it so that they fit nicely in the quarter boxes. No, they're not quite perfect in the quarter boxes, but they do fit nicely in the corner of the half boxes. I think I was thinking you could just kind of cover up the quarter boxes. Oh, you know what probably happened? At some point I had the quarter box in round, the inside of the quarter box more round, and then changed it at some point, forgetting that this is why I did it the way I did it. I was smart at the time. I just realized that usually I lift my computer up for these streams so that my sight line is a little bit better, but I forgot to grab the thing that I used to lift up. I have to put it in the storage room because it's a lap desk, and it has a bit that the cats like to scratch on. I don't want them to destroy it even more than it already is. But yes, there was a method to my madness apart from just being unique. It was so that you could put it here and put a little icon in there. But I never communicated that to people, so I don't know if anybody ever figured it out. And I obviously forgot about it myself, so yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking leaving it long will end up being better. Hopefully people will if I put them right next to each other in the layout, hopefully people will understand that even if they don't see any pictures showing it. I have to say though, I really like the way it looks when it goes here, because on my big kits, I have, essentially one sticker that looks like this with the icon in the bigger sticker, or in the long sticker, in the quarter box. No, it's not a quarter box, it's a header size sticker. But because of that, again, you don't get as much functionality, and I can't provide quite as many icons, and chances are there'll be more that ends up going unused because everybody plans differently. For instance, I don't tend to use meal planning stickers, but I know a lot of other people do. So I put 7 of them in my big kits because that's a big thing for a lot of people. Whereas if it was just like a bunch of icons, you could choose the ones that were applicable to you. Oh, Leah, I hope you have a good dinner. I meant to warn you guys that I might be eating yogurt during this stream because my stomach often decides to tell me that it's hungry right before I stream. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me a half an hour ago? And my stomach's like, I don't know. So anyway, I grabbed a yogurt and I was going to scarf the whole thing down before the stream. And then my stomach's like, actually, I think I just want a half a yogurt. And I'm like, stupid stomach. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right, Leah. I think we should just do the whole thing. I could even do some of these maybe that are checkboxes that you could add on top. That could be kind of cute. Make them even more multi-purpose. Okay, so what I need to do for this is essentially choose the icons that I'm going to use. I mean, I'll start with these. Oh my God, why do I have to sneeze so much? And of course I don't have any tissues nearby. Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna turn off my camera for like a minute. Or I'll go to be right back for a minute so I can blow my nose because this is gonna bug me so bad until I do. Okay, I'm back, and my nose is a little red, whatever. Probably shouldn't, I mean, like, I did that partially, I thought of doing, like, turning it off because the tissues weren't near me, but in hindsight, probably is not nice to blow your nose on stream when you have the ability to turn off your video. So, probably a good thing in the long run, is what I'm trying to say. You need to find a weather sticker that says ditto or something like it, since there is never enough of the stickers you need for the weather near you. Are you talking about in kits or on sticker sheets or both? Because I could theoretically do weather stickers where it's like one page, instead of being a mixed page, it's like all sunny or something like that. Oh, instead of using the same sticker for days on end. Yeah, I am not personally familiar with how a lot of people use weather stickers because the weather here it changes enough. Okay, first off, I'm too lazy. But second off, it often changes like close enough to when it actually comes out that I can't completely trust the prediction. Like if I'm planning on Sunday or Monday, I can't trust that the prediction for Thursday is actually going to be correct because the weather patterns change. And even then, like, you know, there'll be a day where I wake up and it's sunny, and then by the afternoon it's like cloudy and overcast and disgusting and rainy. So like cloudy and rainy wouldn't necessarily could be completely accurate, but neither would sunny. I think they call it like, what is it? You know how like they have the whole thing with like, oh, Eskimos have like over 100 words for snow, and then you hear like, well, they're compound words. At least in the Pacific Northwest, we have the same kind of thing for rain. I'm sure that there are other places that do this too, but in Oregon and Washington in the U.S., and I'm assuming in BC, Canada, I just don't live there, and I know they like, you know, I don't know how much the differences in the way they like do their weather reports are. Now I feel really stupid for saying that, but I also don't want to assume that the way the US does it is the same way Canada does it. Anyway, besides the point. So here, like it is perfectly normal to have a weather forecast that says rain followed by showers, or yeah, rain followed by showers is probably the one I hear, or we're gonna start out with a misty morning, go into drizzle, clear up for the rest of the day, clear up for the afternoon, and then we're going to have showers in the evening. Oregon words for rain, same as yesterday and tomorrow. I mean, kind of the thing, as I said, like we have so many different kinds of rain that, like, as I said, like rain followed by showers, like anybody who has lived here for very long knows exactly what that means. So rain is constant rain, as showers is on and off. And then you have, you know, drizzling, which is usually constant, but it's very light. And then you have misting, which is literally like a mist, but it's still wet. Yeah. Okay. I needed to count. Where you are, overcast in the morning and then sun in the evening for June and all of fall. Yeah, that's not the way it is here. It is nice today, though. I think it's like 72 or something. And I'm literally just pulling up the weather forecast. Because I have a fan going on me, I have like not been... Oh, it's 76, by the way. And there's officially a heat advisory. Which, I mean, 76, I'm like, oh my god, I don't like it at 76. But I also completely realize that we're wusses here compared to not only a lot of the US, but a lot of the world. So it's like, oh, I hate it. But at the same time, I feel like I can laugh at it. So it looks like the heat advisory is in effect, apparently went into effect yesterday, and it's in effect until later today. That's heat advisory for 76? Oh, okay. Apparently it's supposed to go into the 90s in some locations. That's better. Yeah, anytime it goes into like the 85s, 90s for like more than a day or two, we call it a heat wave. It's people, it's like, yeah, people are saying like it's way too hot when it goes above 76. Like for us, a nice temperature a lot of times is yeah, depending on the person, is usually somewhere between 60, 65 and like 70, 72. It's like the perfect spot for a lot of people around here because that's what we're used to. I've mentioned this before. I was in New York for the summer in 2019. Okay, Coco, please stop chewing. I know, I love you too. Was it you that brought this mangled spring back, or was that your sister and I didn't notice? Okay, not interested. But yes, in New York, not obviously, in New York it is significantly warmer than it is here. And so I just got used to it being hot. I didn't like it, but like here 75 is really hot, and when I got there it took me a couple weeks, but like 75 was like wonderfully cool after a while. Like that's what I'd put the AC to, whereas here we'd put the AC to like 70, 68, 65, something like that. It's like, oh, okay, this is nice. So I got back after that, and we still had a little bit of warm weather in Portland after I got back from New York. Now, granted, I do live in a basement apartment, so it is cooler inside here than it would be, you know, like on a second floor or something like that. But it was like so nice the rest of the heat. For me, we're like the rest of August and September. Oftentimes we do end up getting heat here through August, September. And everybody else is like, oh my God, it's so hot. It's like, 72, 75. I'm like, oh my God, this is so nice and cool, because I'd gotten used to the heat. But then I got unused to the heat by the next year, and now I'm a wuss again. So that is my, I don't know, saga of Tef being a wuss when it comes to weather. We're also wusses here when it comes to snow. None of us know how to drive in the snow, including myself. And anytime there's any snow, it's a mess. It's a mess. Like, even like roads, flat roads where nothing could go wrong, because like a lot of people, part of it is we don't know how to drive in snow. So like when we do start slipping, there are some areas where you get used to it and you kind of know what to do and it's instinctual. Whereas for a lot of people here, unless you're the kind of person that does like snow sports and you go and drive to the snow a lot, you wouldn't instinctively like know what to do if your car starts skidding or something like that. Myself included, by the way. I'm not excluding myself from any of this. I'm a wuss just like everyone else. But because it's not instinctual, everybody is not only sliding, but they're being extra careful. And then if they do slide, they don't know what to do, which then makes it worse. So one time when I live up on a hill, so I had to leave when it snowed, when I did work outside the home, and I knew that there was snow likely to happen. I knew that it was very likely to start sticking earlier where I live than it would at work. And so luckily, because I do live so close to my mom, I was able to ask her, hey, can you tell me when any snow starts sticking to like any of the pavement, anything, like when does it actually start sticking? So she texted me, and my boss, of course, did not like that I was going home, but everybody else ended up going home like an hour later. So if anything, I just got a head start. So the drive to and from that job in normal traffic, maybe not, well, I don't think I was working during rush hours at that. I don't think my shift was during rush hour at that point in time. So like it wasn't a lot of traffic. I think I was working the 10 to 7 at that point, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So I didn't have to deal with rush hour, and it was around noon that I left, I think. So there was both people trying to get home as well as the lunch crowd. So I guess I will say that. But 20-minute drive in good conditions. It took me 3.5 hours. And that 3.5 hours got me about a third of the way up the hill I live on because I was stupid and didn't bring my chains. Or maybe I had them and didn't want to put them on. Anyway, I ended up hiking up the hill the rest of the way. Luckily, I had known that there was likely to be snow ahead of time. And so I had specifically brought snacks and extra socks and extra shoes that were like better for walking in snow. And I think they're called like crampons, like little things you can put on your shoes so you get more traction in the snow. And I brought extra water in case at some point I was like stuck in my car for a little while. Like I basically tried to pack as if I was going to have to walk home that morning. Or, you know, when I left, I tried to pack. I tried to anticipate if I did have to walk up that hill because I knew it was a possibility. And because sometimes it gets plowed or like salted or graveled, and sometimes it doesn't. So I knew it was likely I would not be able to get up that hill because I have a 2001 Toyota Camry, and we usually don't get a ton of snow here. Like when it does snow, it's usually like 1/4 of an inch, and it's done within a day. So it's usually nothing that I really have to worry about regardless. But okay, what I'm saying is that it's not worth the money since my car drives perfectly fine already for most situations. Like 99% of the time, it works for me just fine. It's those snowy situations that it can't handle going up hills. And it's just not worth the money to get a car that has like an all-wheel drive or a 4-wheel drive. I forget the difference between the two. Or I do have chains, but I don't get snow tires. Stuff like that. So that's how all that ends up working out in actuality. So yeah, I packed, and someone actually very nice offered me a ride, and in hindsight, like I should have taken it, but at the time I don't know, like I kind of didn't trust the lady, but like looking back, there was nothing like, there were no alarm bells going on in my head. Like I literally saw her going back and forth like 4 times driving people home. It was her and her 2 kids in the car, and she had an SUV. So she was giving people rides, which was like so adorable and sweet of her. And in hindsight, I should have accepted the ride because it would have made my life easier. But I didn't. It was probably good for me since I usually am not the kind of person that like likes working out or like works out at all. I go on walks sometimes, but as you can probably tell from my physical appearance, I am not a super athletic person. So maybe that's what I was thinking. Maybe it was like, okay, well, I mean, at this point, like I came prepared and it's good exercise. Maybe that's what I was thinking. I forget. But specifically what I remember is I wasn't getting any like bad vibes or like stay away from this lady or like, you know, she could kidnap you vibes or anything like that whatsoever. But for some reason, I just did not want to get in the car. No idea why. Part of it might have been that it was only a few months after Pokemon Go had come out, and I was playing Pokemon Go while I was walking, which, I mean, in hindsight, had people not been around, could have actually been a really stupid thing to do, because had something actually happened to me, I was depleting my phone battery. Just talking about what I'm doing now, well, what I just did is I resized the little icons and stuff like that. I will probably go and grab a bunch of different icons and, you know, put doubles on some of them. I'll probably put like a couple of house and like 4 of these, maybe a couple coffees, couple garbage, and then like a couple vacuums. You know, I'll try to have a nice mix, I guess is what I'm saying. I guess I probably don't need as many as in the monthly one. But, you know, I'll have a bunch, you know, have some meal plan ones and stuff like that. That way, you know, I'll try to take those things into account, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that, because I am trying to make this a multi-purpose thing, trying to actually, you know, make the multi-purpose work multi-purpose. I don't know. I hope my rambling makes sense. But I also need to figure out how many icons is too many. And I guess now that I think about it, I should just do it all now because I've been really bad at coming back and doing stuff lately. Because I am busy with things. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. So I probably should just do it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up page 3 of my full kits, and we're going to grab some of the icons from there. Ooh, you know what? I should also grab I should pull up the functional page kit. So these are the ones I was thinking. So yeah, I'll probably do some hearts, a couple TVs, a couple laundries. Now that I'm thinking about it, I really should convert those to kind of this style eventually. I'm probably, oh, no, I didn't want that. I wanted something else. I don't want to completely reformat this kit currently. Maybe going forward, I'll start doing it. We'll see. Okay, I didn't want that. What I wanted was the functional version of page 2. Because I'm pretty sure I added a couple of extra icons to the top because of the way I redid the formatting. So I mentioned earlier that the functional version does not have date covers, which usually go along this whole edge, top to bottom. So I took those out and then I added a bunch of quarter boxes, and then we have a few more icons going across the top. So what I should probably do is just pull these icons. And I know there are some repeats here. Oh, come on, what is, oh, I know why. This is what happens when you make your life easier and then you try to copy stuff. So what it is that for simplicity of changing the kit over to like a new theme, I have like all the blue shapes grouped together, all the like salmon shapes grouped together like that. And so I just had to ungroup it if I just wanted those. Is this the right one? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So I mean, not that it really matters, but I'll start with effectively 3 rows. And again, I will probably end up putting some duplicates in. So let me go ahead and first take out the ones I already have. Oh, by the way, you'll also notice that some of these are different colors here than they are here. It has to do with the way I like added icons in, and I wanted the colors to go in a specific progression as I went like across the actual planner, if that makes sense. So anyway, some of the colors got switched because of that particular dynamic. Okay, so I don't have gas, no laundry. car, and then champagne. So let's grab those. And then get rid of the rest of those. And then let's go back to page 3. And from here, I want to grab the TV. I'm actually not going to grab the heart because this is a different style heart that I'm using for my checklists, and I probably should synchronize them. I don't think I'm going to use all of these, but I'm just copying them over so I have them to work with. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab out the duplicates. Actually, what I'm going to do, oops. Oh, okay. I'd forgotten that I grouped them. So what I'm actually going to do now that I think about it is I am going to pull all the icons out. Oh, I need to ungroup everything. Yay! Ungroup everything. Opie, down. Grab you a spring. It's a yellow spring. Okay. Everything's ungrouped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all the icons down. I know it's kind of hard to see, so let's do it over here on the gray background. So it's a little bit more contrasty. No idea where that weird accent came from. Yes, I'm aware it's terrible. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to line up all the icons that I have and can use. And I am going to decide how many of each I'm going to put in here. That way, I don't have to move the icons and like I don't have to shuffle the icons and the colors and stuff like that of these boxes after the fact. Like I don't have to, you know, center them multiple times and stuff like that. So I'm going to get rid of these. Actually, I mean all of them, not just those. There we go. Yay! Okay, so these are the icons that we can use. Some of them there will be duplicates of, some of them not. I think there are probably a couple more that somehow didn't make it. Did they get deleted along the way? I'm pretty sure. Do I? Oh, the heart I was going to grab from here because it's a slightly different style heart. Let's get rid of that for the time being. Oh my god, closing a menu is this slow? Stupid. Okay, the asterisk went somewhere. It's so funny because like I'm not a huge fan of asterisks, which is mostly funny just because it's Erin Condren's logo essentially. But I like them in these sorts of things because it's good for a, like, hey, this is important. I do not know where the rogue asterisk is. It's probably like just sitting there right in front of me and I can't find it. Either that or I didn't copy it. Either one is entirely possible. Knowing me. I did copy it. Okay, I want to try to find it. Where's my rogue asterisk? As I said, it's possible I just deleted it. So actually, I'm just going to go grab it again. Okay. So, I have to say, even though there's not a lot of convos going on in the chat right now, because, I mean, I know that a lot of the audience isn't super enthused to watch me design a sticker kit that's taking me several streams to do, and, like, I get that. Hello, Coco. It's nice to have those of you who are here to give me feedback, and it's nice to kind of talk through what I'm doing, because it makes me simultaneously think, and like it makes me think but not overanalyze stuff as much as I necessarily sometimes do. All right, so what I'm doing here is I am trying to decide like what icons are actually going to make it into the full thing, and if anybody either live or watching the replay wants to let me know what you want to see multiples of, that would be great. I'm tempted to do like 7 barbells, because I know some people work out 7 days a week. But as I mentioned, I'm very not one of those people, and I don't want to shame people that do not work out 7 days a week. And it's one of those like, oh, I want to give enough for the people that do want it, but I also don't want to shame people that don't. I think I'm going to leave these, well, I'll put 1 letter in, and then I'll do like 4 asterisks maybe. Because I feel like you could use these, like, I mean, I don't have like the phone call thing, but you could use these for like, hey, I need to make a phone call. Like, don't forget to make this phone call. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I agree. It would be nice if the asterisk wasn't so big on everything for Erin Condren, but as I said, it is their logo, so while it's not my cup of tea, I get why they do it. Do I need more than 1 car? I don't know. That's the thing I'm trying to think about. I'll do 2 of these. People might get like 2 or 3 packages in a week if they... Nah, if maybe I'll do 3. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. How many do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, and then I have 4 hearts. Maybe I just won't do the hearts. I mean, not that it would be hard to grab a heart. I would have to make a couple small changes to it, but no biggie. It's literally, I just have to take off the outline to make it match those a little better, though this is a little bit more curvy than those. So, I may not like the way it goes anyway. No, I kind of do like that. Okay, how many icons is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Okay, so it looks like, I was going to say like, oh, I should do it as a multiple of 8, and then I realized I specifically said this might not be the final layout, so it doesn't necessarily matter. I thought I took away, oh, whoops. It's like, I thought I took away the dark outline. There we go. 5, I'll do 3 hearts, I guess. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do 4 barbells. Because I think 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. I think doing 4 will cover most people's needs, while not putting so many in that people that don't use them might feel shamed. I'm over analyzing how many barbells I'm putting in this. How stupid is that? Okay, maybe 5 barbells, because I know that it's like a pretty popular workout thing for people to like work out 4 times a week or 5 times a week and have 2 rest days. I'm going to do 2 because it's reasonable that people might need to do 2 loads of laundry in a week. I'll just do 1 car and 1 gas because you could theoretically use this if you need to get gas more than 1 time in a week. But then you also have the different ones. I'm only going to do 1 plane because I know a lot of people probably won't use that in a week. Let me do like 3 monies. And we'll do 2 houses. All right. If anybody has any other icons that they think I should use, or if they think I should do significantly more or significantly less, or I guess I should just say more, or as I guess significantly less of some of them, let me know. Again, chat or comments, depending on if you are here live or not. Oh my goodness, okay. Okay, I messed up the pattern at some point. Green, purple, blue. That needs to be green. Oops. Now let's play the I'm selecting everything except what I actually want game. Okay, so green, and then purple, green, purple, blue, orange. Damn it, I was hoping I would get to a point where it repeated already, but I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna have to do a lot of them. So orange, and then, so those 2 need to be green. Oh, wait a minute, I don't have to do that anymore. Green. And then the next 2. Why am I having such a hard time sorting this out in my brain? Okay, next is purple. For some reason, the purple looks so much brighter here than it does over here, so I keep looking at the swatch and being like, oh, that's not the right purple. Okay, blue. That needs to be transparent, and then I need to get the outer border and make that blue. There we go. And then salmon. Oh my goodness, why is my brain having such a hard time with this? I think we need to start with salmon now. Blue, yeah, salmon is next. And then after this, the pattern repeats. Oh, how much do you want to bet this was my missing? Yep, missing asterisk. Okay. All the other ones had like such a faint outline, like gray outline, that I could see them, that I forgot it was possible for them not to have that and get lost on the white. At least that mystery is solved now. Okay. No, that needs to be green. Stupid tough. Next is purple. And then blue. Okay. Yay! Now I can start putting these in. So I'm going to put them all in, and then I will go back and center them. What I'm going to do first, so I don't run into that issue over and over again, is I'm going to bring everything to the front, or the icons at least. So this is what I was talking about like the mixing and matching and having different colors. So I'll also do that for those so that it's pretty easy to either make the colors match or to make them contrast if that's what you want. And I just realized I have to make sure everything's the right size. So let me, I mean, I could do it before or after, but it will be a little bit easier to select them if I do it here. So 0.18, and I should, all these should be good because I did those already. But we're just going to double check stuff so I don't run into issues later. And then something like this. Oh, I was going to be like, well, it's a little big, so I'm going to make it smaller, but I put a 0.19. Still might make it a little smaller later, but not right now. And if anybody is wondering why I'm not just copy pasting, since I am such a huge fan of shortcuts, it's because for some weird annoying reason Silhouette Studio doesn't like things being copied and pasted into those boxes. You can get it to work, but it's a pain. So usually I just, if it's something I can easily remember, I just type it in because it will cause the menu to move around to different places and be annoying. Okay, I'm not going to change that. I think I'm also going to keep the size of this one the same. Let's see. Yeah, sure, why not? I can always make it smaller. Now this, I am changing one and then I'm copying all 3 copies. And I'm going to do the same thing with these. Ooh, is that too small? No, that actually isn't too small. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and that one already got sized. Okay. Well, I can deal with the initial ones as they come up. I just wanted to not have to go back on like all of them. I am going to make this one a little smaller, maybe 0.17, like not a lot. Some of them have like, specifically the more square ones, because they fit to the edge of that like square dimension, it makes it look like they're taking up the actual, or how should I put this? The actual image in the box takes up more of the total room, because when we size it, I don't know how to explain it. It's basically, the actual image is covering more surface area, so it makes it look proportionally wrong compared to the others, I guess, is what I'm saying. And so I'm just trying to get those proportions correct. Okay, and I'm gonna flip-flop this so we have, I think we're gonna do the car and then the gas tank, because it makes sense to put these together and it doesn't make sense to split these apart. Okay, so now I'm getting to the groups of things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So since I decided to do 5 barbells, oh, actually, I think I'm going to need another row of those. That's okay. And as I said, I can always add or subtract more later when I'm actually laying it out. It might be the kind of thing where I have to take 2 out because I do not have the, like the room. Like if I take 2 of these out, then I'll have the room I need. Sometimes it works out that way. But at the current time, oh my goodness, I saw something out of the corner of my eye and I thought it was a bug, and then I looked and there was no bug. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I saw it was a bird outside of my door. Oh, Leah, no worries. Take your time. That's the thing with streams. Like, I expect people to pop in and out. I appreciate when people are able to be here the whole time, but I don't expect you to be. It is not a requirement. trying? Okay, fine. We'll just do this. I didn't want to have to copy them all because I'm not going to need them all, but that's okay. We will copy them all anyway. And I should have copied them beforehand. You know, it's one of those hindsight 2020 situations. Because now I have to take out all the icons I literally just put in. Smart one, Tef. I'm smart one. That's okay. These are like the little nitpicky productivity things that you wish you did, but you don't think of until after the fact. So. The other thing I could do, which I don't know what people would use them for exactly, but I could also provide a couple of blank squares in case somebody has their own icon sticker they want to put in there and they just want it to match aesthetically with the, like, you know, mix matched, like if they kind of mix matched the colors, maybe they you know, with their own icons. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? Probably not, Tef. Probably not. Ugh. Floaters that sometimes make it look like there's a bug walking around. Ugh. I have a little bit in the way of floaters, but not much. Not enough to really, like, I don't see them on a regular basis, but I can see them if I try. If that makes sense. Yay, Leah, you're back! As somebody who makes stickers themselves, I'm sure you know sometimes the design process is long. But as I've mentioned several times, because of the way I like design one kit and then use it as a template for all the others, even though this is taking forever, once I have the template, it does make it pretty fast to theme it to a new kit. It's just making of the template that takes forever. Okay. Phew! Now I have to go center all the icons and then I can line them up all nicely, which will probably end up getting changed later, but that doesn't matter. At least then I can move them, like, having been all aligned nicely as a block, and then ungroup them to align them the way I want to, or make changes. So I am zooming in because I want to easily be able to put my cursor in an area that doesn't have anything in it, so it turns into that black arrow, so that it's just, oh, whoops, I didn't center thing, I was just grouping things. There, okay. Zoom back in, thank you. Oh, those were probably already centered. Maybe, either that or I just got real good at putting them there at the beginning, and then I'm sure I progressively got worse. The other thing I'm trying to keep an eye on as I'm centering these is that if I'm remembering from last time I made these particular icons, which granted was a while ago, there might be at least one or two that will need to be manually, maybe not centered, but manually positioned because it will not look quite right if I just hit the, like, center everything button and go from there. So I'm trying to at least take a real quick glance at it to see if there is something I might want to do manually. So far it's okay though. So maybe it isn't these that I was thinking of. I mean, it happens a lot with mock-ups, and I know it's happened with some other stickers too. So it's possible that these weren't actually a culprit last time I created the templates for these. Because again, it was a long time ago. By the way, in case anybody is curious, I license my icons for these sorts of things from FreePic. Or not FreePic, sorry, Flat Icon. FreePic is where is one of the places I license artwork from, but the icons themselves are from Flat Icon. Now, I started with Flat Icon and paying for it, but they're owned by the same company. And so one thing I have to do before my license renews, since I typically pay for the whole year because it's cheaper, is I need to check to see if these icons or ones that are similar that I can use in their place are available on FreePic, because again, it is the same company. And so for both of them, it's $100 a year to license and use anything on the site. A lot of the assets are available if you do not pay a fee, but you have to give them attribution. And so on Etsy, I think the way that would look is you would have to put it in the description. I don't know if you'd have to send anything out with the actual item, because I decided I didn't want to deal with that. And I just pay the licensing fee so that I can use them without attribution. So that's the way it works. It's either attribution or you pay, and then there's some stuff that you can that's only available to their like premium paying people, if that makes sense. So if you go the free route, you do have to give attribution and you don't get access to everything, but it can be really great if you're just starting out and you're not sure what you need yet, or things like that. You know, you can play around with it, you know, see if you're actually going to make sales, if it's something that you're wanting to sell. And then you can always, if you don't want to have to worry about the attribution later, get a license so you don't have to worry about it. Not that it matters, but my licenses don't renew until December, so I have months to figure this out. It's not urgent in the least. I will also say, I haven't spent too much time looking at it, but it looks like FreePic, and by the way, FreePic is pick with a K at the end, not a C. You will get a very not safe for work site if you go to freepic.com with a C at the end of pick. So it's freepic with a K.com. And anyway, they're redoing some of their marketing, and it looks like they're starting to add more stuff into the package. I don't know if that means they're going to raise their prices, or maybe they already have and I just haven't figured it out yet because I paid back in December. But it looks like they're having more mock-ups and different things like that that are available for people to license, which is very cool because one, it's nice to have a place you can just kind of go and, you know, browse through what they have, and, you know, it's handy, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like, not having to be like, okay, do I want to, is this particular asset worth the cost? I don't know exactly how their artists get paid, and they also make a lot of their own stuff too. But I do know that the artists get paid in some way, shape, or form if you like submit. They have a thing where you can like, hey, submit your own artwork and get paid for it. So I know that's something that anybody can apply for if they want. And but yeah, just knowing that I don't have to worry, that like I already paid for the license, I don't have to worry about any extra like licensing costs is kind of nice, because whenever anything comes up, it's hard to get graphics for kits from there. I usually end up licensing those separately because when I'm looking at artwork to use to make a kit, I usually want it all to be by the same artist, and there are like specific, I guess, kind of specific things that I'm kind of looking for in the artwork that's available as part of the set, just that makes my life easier. So a lot of times I can't find enough, like basically the same kind of stuff with the same style by the same artist there to put a kit together. Sometimes I can, but usually I end up getting the kit stuff separately. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm giving away all my secrets, aren't I? For the longest time, I was very embarrassed to admit that I don't draw all of the artwork for my kits, even though it's the kind of thing that if you search, like, well, maybe it's not as apparent now, but back 2 or 3 years ago, if I would search printable planner stickers, or maybe it was like Erin Condren stickers or something like that, like, if you looked enough, you would start seeing some of the same, like, graphic sets, like artwork coming up in multiple people's stickers. And I even actually purchased the same, well, I purchased sticker kits from 2 different shops. They were printable, so it wasn't very expensive, but they actually were using the same base set of artwork. The kits came out different because obviously you had different designers behind the scenes using the artwork to make a kit. And by the way, that's why I call sticker designers sticker designers if I'm unsure if they do their own artwork, because to me, maybe it's a semantics thing, but that puts that has a there's a difference. There's a differentiation. And so I feel like that term doesn't necessarily automatically imply that they drew everything themselves, because I don't want to give someone credit for something that, you know, for drawing their stuff when they didn't, I guess. I hope that makes sense. And that's why I often call myself, instead of a sticker artist, even though I do draw some of my own stickers, I like to call myself a sticker designer, because while I do have some of the stickers that I've drawn myself, and some of them actually sell very well, I don't feel like, what the hell is going on here? Oh, I think I know what's going on. Okay. Okay. I think what's happening is the heart graphic, or this for that matter, it doesn't really matter, but one of them's causing some issues with the way it's spacing. Anyway, enough of the stuff in my shop is not hand drawn or hand illustrated by me that I do not want to inadvertently lead someone to thinking that that is my artwork. I don't, I usually will draw attention to the stuff that is, but I don't want to inadvertently tell people, oh, it's my artwork, when it isn't. Hey, Kevin, welcome. I hope you're doing well. I am chatting about designing stickers while I'm designing stickers and putting stuff together, and hopefully it's not incredibly boring. I find this stuff interesting, but you know, designer stuff, you know, it's a slightly different thing than just like using planner stickers. Like, you know, I find it fun to see what goes into designing them, but again, I make them, so I like seeing everybody else's processes. Oh yeah, Leah, thanks for saying the template design process takes forever. Oh, but only an hour or 2 for new kits once they're done. Okay, here's what I will say. When I first opened my shop, once I had my templates done, it took me forever because I like kept printing stuff out and changing the sizes. I'm not gonna have nearly as big of a problem here because I now know how to size things more accurately so that I don't have to go through as many iterations. But I have gotten to a point where I know if the kit is going to look good once I print it out and like do a test spread. So it makes it a lot easier, and I've done my template in a way that it already accounts for a lot of those sorts of things that, like, I don't want this sticker to necessarily go next to that sticker that's the same color. I know everyone plans differently, but like I've looked at a lot of the way people's plan. I know that's like, as someone who makes stickers, you might understand that, like, you know, the colors and the designs might all go together, but then when you put it in the planner, you're like, oh, like that header color doesn't look right there or whatever, because it's, I don't know, as I said, like too near something of a similar color or the same color or something like that. So I've gone through a lot of those permutations, and I've gotten to a point where my template takes care of all of that stuff for me, which is really nice. So when I'm creating a new kit, I definitely have to spend some time. Basically, I spend my time on the full boxes, and sometimes those come together in a half an hour, usually not, but I have had cases where they've come together very quickly. Sometimes they come together in 4 hours or 6 hours or 2 hours. Sometimes I agonize over it for days and run into issues. But basically, when I'm making a new kit, it's the full boxes I have to design. And then once I have the full boxes, I essentially pull 4 colors out of those. Those are going to be the colors for the kit. And then everything, almost everything else is just find and replace, find and replace. I have to do a few things with like different patterns and stuff like that. But once I have that, once I have those full boxes, it takes me maybe 30 minutes usually to put it into a 6-page kit. And then since my mini kit and my functional kit are based on the 6-page kit, those are super simple to then take what I have in the 6-page kit and transfer it over. So, all the comments, I feel so happy. Let's see. You tend to use Envato elements, but there's not as much on there. Is that the web-based thing that is supposed to essentially be a Photoshop clone? Because I've heard that there is something, but I forget what it's called. Adobe also, for people that have a subscription, is making a web-based version of Photoshop. And I say is because it is very much not fully functional at this point in time. I think I'm going to want to make these maybe like their own page, or at least a good part of a page. So we're going to move this stuff around a little bit. I mean, I'm excited for if and when it becomes more functional. I think that'd be so cool, because sometimes I have wanted, or I think I've talked about this before, I'm at a point where from a workload standpoint, I really need to hire help, and especially because I template a lot of my stuff just to help me. A lot of times it would be fairly easy to train someone, but I also do get like caught up in the minutia because I've never hired and trained someone to help me with this sort of thing. Like, how do I actually do it? And so not having to, like, they'd still have to have the login info, but not having to do like the whole install sort of thing, and the way Adobe's, hey, Coco, the way Adobe does the verification to make sure you have an active subscription is a little annoying if you're working with someone else and trying to give them access. This is definitely gonna have to change formatting. So yeah, that can be a little annoying from a standpoint of giving someone else access, but the having it be all web-based, it would just take one thing out of it. Is it the biggest thing that is making it hard for me to hire help? No, but it is one thing. So it's one of those things. Okay, so I think I can get at least one more set here. Coco, She's probably like, I want food. And I'm like, I fed you guys breakfast late, so you don't get food now. She's like, I don't care. I'm like, I care. But I mean, she's a cat, so her definition of an empty bowl is you can see the bottom of the bowl. So Leah, talking about like buying clip art and artwork from artists, it's actually really interesting because artists oftentimes, or at least I've run into a few. Sorry, I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna eat a little yogurt. And then I just realized I shouldn't be talking while eating, so maybe I'm not. But a lot of times, or at least with a couple that I've run into, artists will make the artwork a little bit less expensive on their website because they do have to pay less in fees. But sometimes the licensing terms aren't actually, usually they're not the exact same as if you're going through another platform. And sometimes they're, at least for me, not quite as favorable for what I'm trying to do. So, or like so anyway, my point is that I will consciously decide to go to the website because of the difference in the licensing terms, even if they get paid a little, like the percentages are different. Like basically what I'm saying is sometimes artists will, usually it's like the number of uses. So, you know, included with the license. And so sometimes I've had on like the artist websites where even though the individual artwork is significantly less expensive on their website and they mark it up on the third party, because of the licensing terms, it ends up being a little bit of a better deal to go through the website. Which you could make I mean, I guess now that I'm saying it aloud, an argument can be made, and I mean a completely valid argument, that I should still pay extra on that artist's website. But the artist did put it on the other site. So then, I mean, it's not like I'm pirating it, is my point. They're still getting money from it. So, I like the way you put this, Leah. You're a graphic designer, sticker designer, not a graphic artist or illustrator. Yes. And I tried to go to design school and it didn't quite work out for a couple of different reasons, which I don't feel like going into now, because even though like it was a while ago, I still get a little emotional about it. You can probably guess what happened, but I don't want to go into it too much right now because I will get distracted even more than I usually do. So my point is, I do not have a lot of formal training in graphic design. I have some, and a lot of it is kind of what I've picked up in little bits and pieces along the way, what I've taught myself. I will say that I have the benefit over, not the benefit over a lot of people, I guess, in some ways, but I went to a high school that offered graphic design classes. So even though, like, you know, college graphic design classes didn't work out for me, I do have some learning at the high school level. But anyway, so where I was going with that is because a lot of what I've done is self-taught, and I didn't end up going through the full graphic design program in college, is I was never forced to take drawing classes. While I did take artwork and drawing stuff when I was younger, I have not since, I think I'm like maybe 12 or 13. So my drawing skills are not always the best. And it's definitely like not something that I super enjoy sitting down and doing. So for me, a lot of the time, like, as I said, I have hand-drawn some of my stickers, but I'm kind of picky about what I'm willing to do. And I've had some things that I've tried to draw, and after 3 or 4 attempts, I'm just like, nope, not like, I'm not like the kind of artist that draws typically. And that's just me and my skill set and my comfort zone. And that's okay. But that's just how I am and who I am, I guess. So by like saying, how did you put it now? I forget. A designer, not a graphic artist. I feel like that, again, maybe it's the minutia, but saying it's a designer versus an artist, in some ways, even though I know drawing is part of a lot of like designers' educations, if that's something you get formal training on, at least it better represents my skill set, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yay, Kevin! Yeah, love designing while I'm like watching streams or doing something else. It's funny though, because I love doing these where I'm chatting with you guys while I'm designing, but I don't tend to watch a lot of other people's designing streams. I tend to like watch completely random, unrelated streams while designing. But I'm glad you guys are here. Oh, you have new releases for tomorrow. Yay! I know a lot of shop owners like to do new releases on Fridays. I don't. I mean, there are a few different reasons that I won't go into, but it really comes down to the fact that I'm not consistent in having stuff ready every week. Like enough stuff that I feel like I could do new releases. I know some people will also do it like once a month, or when they do releases, they do it on Friday. I don't want to necessarily get into the minutia of like everything that I do with my Etsy shop, because I don't mind explaining some stuff, obviously, because I have, but I also do Etsy coaching. And so I don't want to give away all of my, like, those secrets, I guess, when that's something I do make money on. I'll talk about some stuff, but basically I have a strategy for releasing new items that is not like big new releases, that has worked for me very well and has helped me get visibility on Etsy. I will admit I have not been keeping up with it, but in theory, when I actually do it, it works very well. So that is that. I'm also, I have to say, even though I'm like, oh, I don't do this and there's a good reason behind it, part of me is a little jealous of, and like, maybe not jealous, but like I admire people that are organized and put together enough to do that, which I will fully point out the irony of, because I make organizational aids. But this is what happens when you have ADHD. Yep. But yeah, that's awesome. Oh, that's how you found my channel, Leah? You were looking for design stuff? That's so awesome, because, okay, I'm gonna, I hope this doesn't turn into like, or coming off as like a woe is me Tef thing, but I just, you know, I try not to get like super negative or things like that around here. But because a lot of what I've done, I mean, both in the past and, I mean, because the focus of my channel primarily up until now has been on like planner news and going over stuff like that, and the designing stuff kind of started almost as a space filler, because I didn't have other stuff that I needed to do, or like I didn't have other content to cover, or it's like, oh, this might be kind of fun, but it's going to be a one-off, and then like I had fun doing it and some other people had fun, so I'm like, okay, let's just continue. Especially because there aren't a ton of new releases for planners currently, so there's like not a ton of news to cover. I mean, we have the back to school stuff that I'm super excited. I'm really, really happy that they chose me for the PR for that one. I will say that when Erin Condren, oh, give me a sec, sorry. Okay. I will say that when, if you're an Erin Condren affiliate, the way they're currently doing it, which I like, is they will say what different like affiliate collaborations they have coming up, and they will let you apply for any and all that you're interested in. Well, okay, I take that back. They'll let you apply for either one, or say, I will do all of them. And there is a spot that you can like put in the notes saying, hey, I'm not interested, like I said all, but I'm not actually interested in like this one. Like I'm interested in the other three, but not this one. Usually there's like 2 to 4 or sometimes more every month. But anyway. This time around, like the other, I forget what the other ones were, but I wouldn't have minded getting them, but what I really wanted was the back to school. So I only applied for the back to school. And then in the notes, I'm like, hey, look, I don't mind doing any of the others. Like, I'm sure I could knock it out of the park. But since it doesn't look like you're choosing people for more than one a month, if I had to choose one, it would be the back to school collaboration, because I know that we've looked at those the card, and we've looked at a lot of this stuff for the past few weeks as Erin Condren has been doing a lot of their releases. And not only was it the one that I was the most excited about when I first saw it, but it was the one that I felt made the most sense given my past coverage for my channel. So again, I mean, I am repeating this, but I do not know if this is going to be the final placement or final number of these that is going to go in. I am just coloring them now because I do want to get, I guess, a better idea of how things are looking on the sheet. I don't know. Partially it's fun and I don't want to see all the random colors that I put down just to have like a color to a sticker. I need to catch up with the chat because I mean, not that it's bad, but I keep seeing somebody's, and then partially because I can design while I'm talking and going off on a tangent a lot of times. Not that I'm just changing colors right now, but it's easier for me to read something and then, oops, wrong color. To read something and then talk about it for a little while while still actually getting something done. So I just need to catch up. That's a good idea to try to limit myself to 2 hours. The last set of full boxes I actually designed on stream. And unfortunately it was giving me a very hard time, but I will say that I do work, while I'm getting better, I work slower when I'm on stream. Both because I'm explaining what I'm doing as I'm going, and I can't just like zip through it, and also because I get distracted more easily. So I like that though, setting a timer and being like, this is how much time you have. But I feel like for me, I'd get to the end of that time, and if it really wasn't done, I'd just keep going because I'm not happy with it. So it's one of those things where, yeah, I might not stick to my time very well. Group. You guys all grouped still? No. I need to group you. There. Envato is not what you're thinking of with that Photoshop clone. You're thinking of maybe Canva. No, I forget what it's called. I'll try to look it up. I mean, I could try to look it up now. It's like literally when you go into it, it looks like a Photoshop clone. It's not. I use Canva for my YouTube thumbnails because their templates are really easy. So I very much know it is not Canva. Envato is like a subscription assets. For commercial use. Oh, I see. That makes sense. It's photo. Is it Photopea? It might be Photopea that I'm thinking about. Yeah, it's Photopea. Okay, let me pull this in to the screen share. I've seen people using this. You can actually, it will read PSD or Photoshop files, and once you actually start doing stuff in it, like you do have to put up with the ads. I think you can pay and not have to do it, not have to deal with it. But, and I don't know if they have templates and whatnot, but anyway, when you kind of, I'm pretty sure this is what it is, that when you actually kind of get into it, like a lot of the tools, yeah, it's set up so that the interface looks super similar to Photoshop. Super, super similar. So yeah, that's what I was, when you said that, I didn't remember that name, and that's what I was thinking of. Ooh, you go live on IG? Drop your handle in the chat. Maybe I'll check you out sometime. I will say I'm not on IG very often, so I might not ever catch you on there, but I'd like to check it out. Oh, and Leah already asked you for that too anyway, so hopefully, if you didn't already see that, but yeah. Oh, you used to release weekly, but you got burned out quickly, so you're trying every other week. So far it's working out. Awesome, yay. Oh, they selected you too for the Erin Condren collaboration. That's awesome. So I was, so you're asking, have I moved into my planner yet? So yes, kind of. So I bought 2 planners this year, partially because I wasn't sure what I was going to use, and partially because I wanted them to be able to size stickers. So I also should say that I mostly just use the weekly pages. So when I say move in, it's mostly just like using the weekly pages. I also didn't plan this week. So I have what I've been calling the 7x9 or the classic vertical. And I got an 18-month. And October and November of 2023, the dates and like the days of the week line up perfectly with May and June. So I've been using this on and off, mostly on, but sometimes off, since the beginning of June. And then I got my compact vertical, which, I mean, currently I just, I've been testing stickers, and I was stupid and left these stickers in too long, so I can't really pull them up. So this particular week, which is like, I think the first week in October or something like that, is kind of unusable now, because I've just been putting stickers in for sizing purposes, but I did get a compact vertical. This one I got starting in July. So I haven't started actually using this one yet, but I have been using the other one. And yes, Akman, I think you are the only one that has to wait until January 2023 to use your planner. I switched to for the most part, the July planner start a long time ago, because I wanted to be able to get the new planner and use it when it came out. Okay. So looking at what I have, keep in mind that this is kind of half one page. At this point, I'm thinking it might be a 4-page kit. I do like to keep my kits to an even number of pages, because a lot of my stickers are print to order. And so it makes it easier for me from a perspective of not having extra stuff floating around. I think we're gonna put 2 habit trackers in the kit, because unless I end up moving this stuff around, oh, maybe I can fit 3, we'll see. But I can put 2 more page flags. I don't know if the page flags, honestly, how many times can Tef say honestly? Page flags for me often end up being a space filler in the kit. Ooh, maybe I can put a couple bill dues or appointment boxes in there. I'm to the point where I have most of my stickers that I'm going to put in the kit designed, so I'm kind of starting to figure out where I'm going to place everything, if you couldn't tell, since I didn't specifically spell it out. I'm not sure if I can get 2 in there. I could put all this stuff closer together though, so let me scooch it over a little bit. I will end up, if I do end up doing this, I will end up putting the stickers closer together and not putting it so close to, so close to the border. But I just want to see before I do too much. No, that's going to be too tight of a squeeze. So yeah, I think I can fit 3 in there. Again, I'm not aligning everything perfectly at the current moment. I am just trying to get it into its potential approximate spot. And then if I can find something better to put there than page flags, I will, because I feel like, oh, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Ha! I figured something out. Maybe. Is this the mini kit? Yeah, this is the mini kit. Oh, but maybe I don't have the sticker I'm thinking of in the mini kit. Nope, I do not. Okay, so do I have it in this one? No, I don't. I was thinking of like a little teardrop sticker. I have to remember how I labeled those now. This is a 7 by. Oh, I need to do water stickers. That won't be hard. But yeah, I forgot about hydrate stickers. Oh my goodness. I don't remember what my file names are for them because I don't use them very often. I don't think I have them currently available. I might have them currently available to buy separately in my shop, but I don't remember. Okay, so I think that would be too big for a hydrate. I think maybe this size and then do it in 2 rows. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And I can always change the size of the little water drops, of course. And I can put hydrate at the top, but I don't think I'm gonna wanna do that in this case, or maybe I can put it at the side. We'll see. We shall see how it goes. I want, okay. So I want to get rid of you. We'll do for now because that might turn into hydrate. Okay. And then that needs to come to the front. 1, 2, 1. Okay, why are you not duplicating? I'm pressing the correct key. It does this sometimes, or it just does not want to. Fine, I will use the short or the long way of doing it. I won't use my. Okay. I don't think there's a lock button in Silhouette Studio, but it would be so nice if there was. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the backing off of it because I can see what's going on in here, and that's going to make it easier for me to grab stuff. Hello. I know it's getting late, but you had breakfast at like noon. Yes, I do. I do feed my cats at slightly inconsistent times, but there's always food left in their bowls. So even though it is inconsistent, I'm very much not starving them, is my point. I have made sure of this. Ooh, that could be kind of cool. To have it staggered. So I'm going to do that, and then let's space evenly. Yeah, pretty good. And then let's turn that into hydrate. Let's see if I can remember how to do that. Okay, there we go. And I need to get rid of the. Sometimes I don't get, when I'm changing a text box, sometimes I don't get rid of the first 2 letters immediately because sometimes getting rid of all the letters will cause issues with the formatting. And so if I leave one there temporarily, then I don't have to deal with it. But I also have to go back and remember to fix the formatting. Okay, so we have that, and that. Did I regroup? No. this. Center those to each other. And then, yeah, I did group those. Now we can put the background back in. And then for the hydrates, it's the one solid color sticker on my sheets that can change, sort of. It's usually whatever the color is that's closest to blue. It's not always blue, but in this case I have a blue, but I try to make it blue. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably end up going back and changing the spacing on that, but I will print it out and see what I think first. Okay, so I will need 7 of those. No, wrong menu. Ooh, that fits nicely, except I want them going the other way because even though I designed my sheets to be viewed like this with this going sideways, if I have to put a sticker sideways, I like to put it so that it faces towards the top. It's kind of weird because like the part of me wants to have it so it faces this way, but if you're rotating it so that you see this right side up, I want the stickers to face the top. Okay, I very much need to make some changes here. I could probably fill the rest of this in with the bill dues and some meeting things. Oh, I think maybe the meetings can go there and these will have to go on another page. Because I don't think I'm going to have room for more than 2 bill dues once I space everything out so it looks nice and pretty. We'll see. Once I have all the stickers, the Tetrising it in so that I'm using my space as effectively as possible also takes a long time. Okay, that's spaced nicely enough. Not perfect, but nicely enough. That. I'm just gonna do that. And then let's change the bill due color. Because when I first made these bill dues, I was just designing random stickers and putting random colors on them, and now I'm actually trying to theme it towards the kit. So now I actually need to do that. So I'm going, so typically when I put, I try to make sure that there are not too many stickers that are the same color as the header cider color right next to it. And I also have a lot of blue here, so I want to try to make sure that I don't have a blue or teal there, which leaves us with, grabbed the wrong thing, leaves us with salmon. Still, come on, let me select the right thing. Leaves me with salmon and purple for those 2 colors. Oftentimes it's not that straightforward, but in this case it was. And then once I change the colors, if I'm still moving things around, I try to regroup stuff immediately so I don't forget. Once I have the template done, it's not a big deal, and I often don't need to regroup it immediately, but since I am not at all confident that this will be the final spot, yeah. Just want to make sure, because I updated these recently. So I think to be safe, what we're going to do, these were the checklists that I had in the mini kit, and as soon as I make sure that the hearts are placed correctly, because I recently redid the heart placement, as soon as I make sure that those are placed correctly, like I can use the same background is my point. So we're going to group that. Then I'm going to grab that, send that to the back so I can see all the hearts, select that, and then ungroup so I can group all the hearts together. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to ungroup it a little off to the side. That way I'm not working on top of everything. I think the hearts are already, yeah, hearts are not grouped with the single stickers. So I'm just gonna grab those out. Now I can group these together, making sure not to get this little teal thing. That's just a little bar that I put to help me center stuff on sticker sheets. Now I can grab the 2 sets of page flags, or not page flags, of ribbon checklists, and I can line them up like that. And then what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to send this to the back. Oh, I was going to make it really complicated on myself, and I just realized I don't have to. I'm going to delete that, and then I'm going to grab the hearts, ungroup those, and then I can just center. Oh, I need to ungroup the ribbon checklist too. Then I can just center each of them on here, and then next time I go back and do the main kit and the mini kit, since they both, well, and the functional kit for that matter, they all have these exact same checklists. I just need to make sure that I have the new version of the hearts. So basically what happened is my old version, my old placing of the hearts almost but not quite perfectly lined up with the lines in the compact vertical and the sidebar of the 7x9 vertical and things like that. Didn't even occur to me because I don't use ribbon checklists there typically. But someone asked about it, and I'm like, well, let me go check. And I checked, and I'm like, oh, it is, like, it's usable, but it's not perfect, and it would be such a quick and easy fix. So now I have to remember to essentially go back and change the templates. I usually don't go back and change all of my templates, but I, like, at least going forward. The reason why I specifically copied this over from the mini kit is because functionally going forward, probably I will still continue to make the full kit as the like main kit, and then I will convert it into the other types of kit. I will just have an additional kit I can convert it into. So having something like this where I can literally just copy and paste these checklists, I just realized I have to redistribute them because they're not distributed correctly. Are they not they're not distributed correctly here either. Oops. Anyway. So basically that will just make it really easy for me when I'm using the template, because I do not have to essentially make the same stickers over and over again for each template. I can copy paste them from one template to the next. I hope that makes sense. I've put a lot of thought into how to streamline this whole process. Can you tell? Okay, so we have that. So I kind of want something else that is one line over here so that I can get 3 of them in there. But I don't want to put like extra ones of these over here. I could put 3 of these here and then put the habit trackers there. Let me see how that would work. Oh, that would make this space under here a little annoying though. That might end up being where the deco goes though. And I'll probably just use the same deco that I do in the mini kit. Typically the mini kit ends up getting a slightly less deco than the big kit and the functional kit. In this case, I think it was just this mermaid that I did not have room for in the mini kit. Basically, as I said, I do the big kit first, and then I copy and paste as much as I can over to the other kits to change it up. So yeah, I think if I could get the deco in there, maybe. I think I might have already copied the deco over, but that's okay. I'll still put it off to the side so I have it when I need it. I know I said earlier that I wanted to have a function, like a kit basically laid out today. I don't want to go very much longer. I don't think I'm going to have the kit fully laid out today though. Oh, these are my half boxes, and these obviously are not themed to the actual theme of the kit. This kit is kind of annoying for patterns because there's not a ton to work with. So the other thing is that the compact vertical sizes are kind of annoying for to deal with for my standard sticker kit sizes, because things don't necessarily fit in as nicely as I would like them to. I can't put like this next to here, and I can't get a third one in here. And if I put like a half line sticker in here, then there's still a little bit left. And just for my sanity going forward, I would love to not have to break up the deco everywhere. I tried doing that in my first version of my kit templates, and I know from experience it's a headache. So right now, I'm not necessarily quite focusing yet on the backgrounds. I'm gonna play around with the placement a little bit. It's very faint, but there are blue lines there. Usually, this will go into its own file eventually, but I decided it might make it easy for me to lay out if I didn't have to switch back and forth in between two files. Okay, that actually works nicely. So maybe 4 of those, that sounds good. And then if I go up there, I can space them out. Hey, stop it. Yes, I did not count how many times I nudged it and then told it to stop when it was doing exactly what it was told. I'm aware of this. Okay, so I have 4 of those. So I don't necessarily need all of these. I should still have a couple of these, I think. And then I also, do I have the meeting? Okay, so there's a couple of meetings in there, and I don't have the bill dues in, and I don't have these in yet. I think 4 pages will end up, 4 sheets. A lot of times I end up using sheets and pages interchangeably, but then I get into the thing where I have to talk about sheets of stickers versus sheets of paper, and it can get confusing. So in that case, I know I'm not always consistent with which one I do when. Oh, I copied the whole mini kit over so I could copy paste some of those stickers. By the way, these might look similar, but they're different dimensions. I'm not sure if you can tell, but the compact vertical one is a little bit taller and narrower. Okay. And then the other thing I'm going to have to figure out at some point is the order I want the sheets to go in. Like, in my brain, I know what's page 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever of like my other templates. Like, I always pack them in the same order. So that's not a big deal. It's one of those things that probably once I have it all laid out, I'll kind of figure it out. And it's not quite as straightforward when you don't necessarily have full boxes or like a lot of deco or anything like that. This one might end up being it, especially if the deco ends up going here, because then it will have some theme stuff on the first page, which kind of makes it look pretty. And of course, I answer one thing in the chat and then go back on my own little thing. Okay. Oh no, I was mostly caught up. Okay. Time for you to leave for reals, Leah. If you're still here, and because this might have been a little while ago, that's totally cool. Have a good evening. I'm kind of getting to the end as well, I think, today. I'm trying not to stream until I'm completely burnt out or like in sensory overload, because that's not good for me. And it makes the rest of the evening very hard. So I think I am going to leave it here. As I mentioned last time, I intentionally started designing compact vertical stickers without looking at what anybody else was doing on Etsy for compact vertical stickers, because I did not want to look at what other people were doing and then inadvertently start copying their designs or what they were doing. I wanted to come up with my own base designs for stickers, but now I'm at a space where, because I have most of the stickers themselves designed, I'm not necessarily in danger of copying exactly what they're doing, but but it can be helpful to go and look at what sorts of stickers other people have included in their kits, because it can help me remember. It can basically bring to light a type of sticker that a lot of people may use that maybe I don't particularly use or I hadn't thought of putting in this kit that would be super helpful for people. So I'm at that point right now where, like, you know, how many of each kind of box do I put in? Like, you know, kind of, I want to see what other people are doing and kind of, you know, what direction they're going. And then I know a lot of people haven't really started using their compact verticals yet, and I do want to get this kit out. I mean, as far as a lot of sticker designers go, like, a lot of them have them out already. So maybe this will be like version 1, and then I'll do a version 2 a couple months down the road. But I want to see how people are using these kits once more people start using their compact vertical planners, so that I can get an idea if there's anything that I need to add or change. Of course, I'm also going to use this kit in my own planner. My thought is I am essentially going to do my, like, first test spread as my own spread, and the first time I'm planning in my compact vertical planner, so that you guys can actually see that whole process, not only of how I'm laying out this planner. Granted, I'll probably change my style after a while, after I experiment, but so that I can kind of show you not only how I would lay this out or what my first inclination is, but also how I critique my own sticker kits, because I don't know, I think that would be kind of fun to put into the same video. Maybe it wouldn't appeal to people who just like playing with me as much as people that like the sticker designing process. I definitely get more views when I talk about planner news and stuff like that. But again, I find this fun. There's definitely some people who love to come, and I get other work done at the same time. So it's kind of a win-win for me in that aspect. So I think, I don't know exactly when I'm going to be testing this kit, but I feel like I'm so close. I wanted to have a testable kit, but I feel like I need to do a little bit more research. And since I've been streaming for 3 hours, and I think I'm just going to call it here. So yay for Tef being all of the wordiness all the time. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you watched the replay. Congratulations for getting it to the end. Thank you to everybody who is here live or was here live and had to leave early, though if you did, you probably can't hear me. But anybody who is currently here live, thank you as well. I really appreciate you taking the time to come, hang out, give me your feedback, all that good stuff. If you do have any suggestions for stickers that need to be included in this kit, please leave them in the comments down below, because I'm about to, like, stop streaming and then the chat won't work anymore. And if you have any other suggestions for compact vertical stickers or stickers in general, please feel free to leave those in the comments down below as well. I love hearing about what stickers you would love to have made for your planner. I won't guarantee anything, but what I can tell you is that because everybody's planning style is a little different, you often have great ideas I would never have thought of, because it's not a sticker I would necessarily use, but there are a lot of people out there that would. So yeah, that's why I love hearing from everybody. I will be streaming next on Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific. There might be a stream this weekend, probably not. We shall see. And then, well, I guess next week I have the normal Monday, Thursday streams, and then there will either be a stream on Friday or Saturday going over the PR box that I'm getting for the Erin Condren Back to School collection. Super excited that I got chosen for that. I've been saying it for weeks that I would really love to be able to review that for you guys. So thank you again for being here. I will come up with a more concise script for closings eventually, but whatever. For now, that's what you get. Bye!